Ledford owed him $200 from a drug deal. A new study has found that it's cheaper to buy in Indianapolis than it is to rent. Joel Clausen, an Indy real estate agent, tells Wish TV just 5 years ago you could rent a two-bedroom house for about $700 a month.
And now some of those same places I'm looking at every day when I'm looking for investors and such, those rents are now around $1,200, $1,300. That's just within 5 years. It's almost double.
He says you can get a mortgage for cheaper than that. Most homes are selling for about $260,000 in the Indy Metro. The Indiana Fever are in the playoffs. They clinched a spot last night without even playing in a game. Two other teams lost, so the mathematics played out in their favor. It's the first time they've made the playoffs in 8 years. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Baer.
West side crash on the exit ramp from westbound 72 Holt Road. That ramp is open. It is partially blocked. Crash cleared inbound 69 and 96. Still slow back to 116th Street. Northbound 465 on the east side. Slow after 70 up to 75th. And south side crash westbound 465 at the I-69 ramps. Traffic sponsored by Discover. Discover wants everyone to feel special. That's why they double all the cash back you've earned on a credit card at the end of your first year with cashback match. See terms at discover.com/credit card. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Good morning. Lots of sunshine here. Warmer temperatures, a little more humid too, but quiet. A high of 84. Tonight, mostly clear, quiet, and not as cool. Low of 62. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8's Marcus Bailey, 93 WIBC.
62 degrees at the moment. Partly sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Well, good morning. It is Wednesday, September 4th. It's 6 minutes after 9. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Rob, let's start the show off today talking about polls.
Wait.
What?
Before we do that, did
Yeah.
you get the email yesterday?
What
They
email?
told us the big boss might be here today.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Alfred.
So don't do anything inappropriate.
They literally sent us an email.
Warning us.
So Alfred Liggins, who oversees all of Urban One.
Yeah.
So
Don't embarrass us is what the point of that email
the
was.
normal power structure is Dion is like the big boss over Indianapolis Urban One, and then there's our immediate boss David Wood, and that's normally. But the main guy,
Yeah.
the big cheese,
Head honcho.
I guess, is in town.
He's rolling in town.
Something, and they send us an email, and they're like, just hide in your studio between 9 and noon.
Just be normal.
And when you
please.
leave, just walk with your head down.
I said I'm going to go up to him and shake his hand. Hi, I'm Casey. Nice to meet you. And he'll be like, who are you?
We used to run into that all the time with
I'm
Jeff.
in charge of the vending machine.
Well, we used to run into that all the time with Jeff Smalley and Hammer, and I had that famous joke for years about, like, you'd see him in an elevator, and he'd be like, did you gentlemen win concert tickets? No,
You here to pick up a prize?
We work for you. So anyway, be on your best behavior today.
I am.
Do not
always
embarrass me.
on. Oh, because that's the way it works around here.
By the way, did you also hear this debate thing we're doing sold out?
Sold out. And they even expanded it for more tickets
And that's
available.
sold out.
And those sold out.
That's so we're doing, what is it? It's next Tuesday?
It's the 13th, yeah.
No, it's the 10th.
10th. 10th, yeah.
Next Tuesday, we're doing the debate night party at WIBC. And it was great because you and I mean, this was perfect timing when it sold out because you and I were supposed to go over and do some video.
Yeah, to promote
and it was going to take up our entire afternoon. And then they were like, you don't have to go. It's already sold out. And I was like, yes, perfect.
Right.
And
Worked out for us.
So it sold out, which it's crazy because we still hear from anonymous internet trolls and the people at the State House.
Nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening.
Right.
But then we sell it everything we do. Every time we do one of these things, it sells out like within days.
So which is it?
People are willing to part with their hard-earned money to hang out with us. So I don't know. I'm just so confused what's going on. Anyway,
I'm gonna believe the people who bought the tickets and not the internet trolls or the people at the State House.
Good point.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's going on with polling? Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you. I just want to tell you, absolutely, do not embarrass me today in front of the big boss, and you just
I know.
keep it together.
You'll just act like you don't know me like every other day. I don't know who that is.
She's kind of crazy.
She was nice enough, but I don't know
You
anything
know,
about her.
every office has got some well-assembled woman who's totally nuts. This is her.
Well, thanks for noticing. I wanted to talk about the polling that's going on because there was this new NBC Survey Monkey poll that came out.
Survey Monkey.
Because when you want to go to the best. And it says that Harris is leading Trump by 16 points. And this is among younger voters. Age 18 to 29.
Survey Monkey is that's not a legitimate poll, is it?
NBC News is using Survey Monkey.
Wait.
50%.
Time.
Yeah.
I thought Survey Monkey was like something you like. Oh, that's Email Chimp.
Totally different thing.
Is that right? Is that a thing? Email Chimp? Did I make that up?
No, that's a real thing.
And Survey Monkey's different than Email Chimp?
I believe so. Yeah, totally different.
There's too many orangutan internet services to keep track of all of them.
Are we believing Survey Monkey though? They're saying that the younger people are going to vote for Harris while the older people are going to vote for Trump.
Well, that seems right.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to, figure that out.
Okay, but then there was Nate Silver's forecast, and he said that after a 5-week media coronation of Kamala Harris, now it's all back to Trump. He's leading by 2 touchdowns.
There's nothing there. Casey, you've been married for many, many years. And Kevin, you would never, ever not have a proper vetting process with someone you were to engage in interpersonal relations with.
Right.
So I'll take a stab at this. And this is, of course, not me anymore because I've been happily married for several years now. But once upon a time, you might choose to engage in an interpersonal relationship with someone who, boy, I'll tell you what, for that first week or two, it's a wild and wacky ride. I mean, it's like getting on the beast at Kings Island every single time. And then after like 2 weeks, you're like, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, that was fun.
Where we are with Harris?
I mean, that was kind of fun, but there's just nothing more other than that. And I mean, that's great, but that's all there is.
So now this polling is saying that Donald Trump is leading in Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin.
Okay, but my point on this is the Democrats who were not going to vote for Biden got super enthused because Grandpa Vegetable was off the table, and they all got excited. And so the people who weren't maybe going to vote for Biden or who were going to have to be drugged, kicking and screaming to vote for Biden out of some sense of obligation, they decided to vote for Harris. That tightened the polls. But every undecided person has looked at her and been like, you're a total liar.
Can't articulate a vision.
You have you're right. You have absolutely, she can't separate herself from Biden. That's the biggest problem, right? This is why it was interesting to me that they went with her, because if you'd have gone with a Gavin Newsom, now we all know what Gavin Newsom actually is. But theoretically,
could have been a clean break.
Right. Right. That's a great description. He's a clean break. He is a guy who we know he's a radical leftist, but he can say, look, I run the nation's largest state. I'm good looking, blah, blah, blah. I'm not tied to these people, whatever. She is totally hitched to Biden, which means she can't set all the stuff that people were pissed off about with Biden. They're still going to be pissed off about with her. So it was a very odd choice that people were so euphoric about it. This makes total sense to me because now we're back to what's the condition of the country? Where do you want the country to go? It will be closer than it was with Biden because there are Democrats who will vote for her who will not have voted for Biden. But the undecided middle people who decide the elections, they're not going to go for that.
Okay, so another thing that the Democrats are facing now is that, they have painted Trump as evil for so long. And now he's going on all of these long-form podcasts.
Who?
Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
And
jeez.
and he's able to talk forever.
That's not good.
Well, it's not good, but it is good because
stop. It's not good.
You're not a fan.
No, okay. You go first. You make the case to me of why letting that guy ramble for hours at a time is a good thing. You go first.
Well, you've got some independents who listen to these shows or undecided or younger voters, and they're actually hearing it from the horse's mouth, from him. They're not just getting the media parroting the message from the Democrats. Legacy media.
So your theory is what people that are listening to this podcast didn't know Donald Trump is running for president?
Well, they're not getting force-fed what the legacy media wants them to hear. They're hearing it from him.
Has it ever ended well where Trump just starts talking randomly? I mean, so let's start this new thing, the Epstein files, right? Like, I'm going to release the Epstein files. You said the same thing about JFK. You said the exact same thing about JFK when he was running in the first time. Are the JFK files out? Did we get all the stuff? No. Donald Trump, they should lock him away somewhere.
Stop talking. But here's the thing, though, is that Harris can't do it. She can't talk for an hour.
But does the average person vote that way? Okay. You're much closer to the average person than I am, so I'm not asking to be mean-spirited or facetious. I think you're much less in terms of because you did not you were a voter, et cetera, but you were not living in the world of politics before you came to this radio show. So you're much closer to this. Does the average person, listen to these podcasts? Like, is the average person listening to this podcast? And does the average person, as they're listening to the podcast, go, well, Kamala Harris couldn't do that. I'll vote for Trump. Is that a thing?
Well, you're hoping, based on Degenerates Next Door, that people are listening to podcasts.
But we're not trying to get people to vote for us for president. We're giving a specific, thank you for letting us promote that, by the way. It is out, the new one, College Football, Week 2.
Yeah.
Your picks are in. The Degenerates Next Door podcast. Get it wherever you get your podcast. But we're targeting to a specific group of people who have an interest in a specific thing, and we're using this radio station as a vessel who you already listen to us, so you'll probably enjoy this to promote the thing. Does the undecided voter, the person in the middle, like who was he on, Skippy McGee, or who was he on when he said he was going to release the Epstein files? Where was he at?
Oh, this guy's
I think it was
name,
Lex Friedman.
Yes.
Who?
Lex Friedman.
Is that somebody you would listen to? That sounds like someone you would
I've
listen
listened to him a couple times. He's
What is-
very cerebral, but he's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's tapping into a new audience.
Okay, so would
Theo
you-
Vaughn tapped into a new audience.
well, we had this conversation with Kevin on the Theo Vaughn thing because you listened to him, right?
Yeah, I listen to that one more often.
Are you going to be swayed? Are you apt to be swayed by a guest on the Theo Vaughn / Lex Luger, Lex
Friedman?
Lex Friedman podcast?
I feel like I've already made my decision.
Thank you.
But there are some people that might.
So you think you're because you're a 29-year-old single, very available man, ladies and gentlemen. Uno
Yeah.
Gold. Find them on
Kevin
Twitter,
McNamara.
wherever. Kevin McNamara, whatever. You are able to be. You think the people like you are able to be swayed based on Donald Trump going on these podcasts?
I think it endears himself to them more. Like I could see a couple people who are moderate but kind of undecided liking him more after that.
Do they listen to him, though, and go, he sounds like a rambling nut sometimes? Trump is very good when he's on script. Trump's very good when he reads from a teleprompter. He should do it much more often. Do the people your age listen to him? Like, if somebody comes to you and goes, I'm going to release the Epstein files, are people like, hot dang, let's vote for him?
Well, whether he does it or doesn't do it, release the Epstein files, it's the fact that he's saying he will that gives you hope and is encouraging. Harris isn't out there saying, I'm releasing the files.
So now we're just like, whoever lies to me the best, that's
well,
what we're going
I mean,
with.
that's part of it, right? At least he's saying
Oh
he
my
would do
gosh.
it.
Are we having this conversation?
Yeah.
We all know he's not going to do it, but it's the fact that he said he's going to do it that gives us some hope. Really? Come on.
Well, when you've been gaslit so hard by all of them for so long.
I guess she lies every single day too.
Right?
So
if it's all even, at least he's saying he's going to do something that you want him to do.
If the jelly beans are counted fairly, he's absolutely going to win the presidency. There's no doubt the legal votes that are cast, he will win the presidency. But they have yet to account for the propensity, especially in several of these key states, to have no idea who's actually voting.
Okay, so Mike Pence came out and he said something yesterday.
Oh, no.
He said it before, but he said it again. And we're going to get to it coming up from 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
We assume that you have one of those kind of soaking tubs.
Oh, you're talking about like up at the Coco Motel. The Kokomo there.
The Coco Motel?
Yep.
Please tell me there's a real place called the Coco Motel.
There is, yeah. I don't know if it's still there or not, but it used to be.
How was I not notified?
How have you not stayed there?
The Coco Motel?
Yeah.
Do you ever wonder how we're still on the air?
No.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob from my friends at Universal Windows Direct. What an incredible deal going on right now at Universal Windows Direct. You know, it's September. It means it's going to start getting cold soon. And that means now might be the perfect time to add new windows to your property to make it warmer for the winter. And listen to this deal. Call today, 317-659-7574. Universal Windows Direct, 317-659-7574. And for every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next 2 free. There's no limit. Buy 2, get 2, buy 4, get 4. Buy 20, get 20, no limit. Plus 0% financing for 36 months. That's 3 years. Now, some restrictions apply. So to get all the information, call today. Universal Windows Direct, 317-659-7574. Schedule your free in-home estimate today. And when you do that, say, hey, Rob Kendall from WIBC told me to call. Universal Windows Direct going to take $250 off your project just because they can. Find out everything on the web, uwd.com. uwd.com, 317-659-7574. Universal Windows Direct. Tell them Rob sent you.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center. Our multidisciplinary care team will guide you every step along the way.
It was very overwhelming at first, but I found this whole community of people who are understanding and just very supportive. So I have a lot of thankfulness and gratefulness for who I am through this and after this.
Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Donald Trump Jr. here. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but you can stop your losses by diversifying into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold now.
Message and data rates may apply.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
It's not too late to get the backyard of your dreams this year. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
You know what I would have been excellent at if I'd have been about 10 years younger?
What?
One of those man on the street guys.
Yeah, do the interviews?
Yeah. you know, the guys, like, they'll...
So you can meet people like the Hawk-Tua girl? That's what you aspire to do?
I mean, think about it. That would have totally fit. I mean, that's kind of a younger person's game, I think. But that would have totally fit my personality to do that.
I think the problem with that is when you were getting people's answers, you would have wanted to argue with them about their answer.
That's
and
not a
most
thing.
of the time, the man on the street guy is pretty quiet other than the initial question.
I saw some guy on the internet. I mean, it's like a younger version of me, but he's doing this on the street.
Yeah.
Where he's going up to these women and he's asking them some sort of question about men and how they judge men. And there was some relatively well-fed woman who was talking about how she wouldn't date a man based on height. And old boy,
she's not down with the short king.
Old boy whips out a scale and says that if you get to judge based on height, we're gonna judge on weight. Not get on the scale.
Ouch! What'd she do? Did she get on the scale?
I didn't. We came back from the commercial break before I got to see the end of it, but I was like, that is a 20. Like, I was doing the exact same sort of humor like this, but just not as a man on the street 15 years ago. I would have been perfect for this. I was born in, people say I was born in the wrong body. I was born in the wrong era,
At
Casey.
the wrong time. You would have been successful at this. I don't know. You might have got punched if you were doing that. Did you see, though, that the Hawk-Tua girl is now starting a podcast? We were talking about podcasts before.
What?
Well, that's it exactly. So her real name is Haley Welch, and it's going to be called Talk-Tua. Good name.
Oh.
But she said, I'm just getting started, baby. She
Started at what?
Exactly.
Started at what?
Don't you just hate the culture sometimes? So she said that she's been quiet for all of this time, and now it's time to hear her side of the story.
She's everywhere. She goes to UFC. She goes to ball games. She goes to... What do you mean she's been quiet the entire... Like, I thought her time was up. I thought we were done with her. I thought the 15 minutes had... Have you ever seen...
A better PR firm than hers?
Have you ever seen somebody get further...
Right.
...on a more stupid thing? I mean, there's...
Right.
I mean, literally, she made one comment related to a... How do we describe this and keep my... Sexual maneuver. And she becomes this internet sensation. And I've never understood any of it about what... Like, why that...
Why her?
I mean,
why now? Why? She said y'all kept asking what's next. Well, this is it. Her new podcast is going to debut September 10th.
You are lit up like a Christmas tree over there. Are you listening to this?
I might have to check it out.
Oh, no.
When is it? When's it come out?
September 10th.
Okay, Kev, that is your job, is to listen to the first Hawk-Tua podcast, and you report back how awful it was. You got to listen to the whole thing.
Is it a 3-hour podcast? Is it going to be like Rogan where she's talking about aliens for 4 hours?
I don't know what she's going to talk about. She said,
Neither does she.
Well, exactly. And how long will this last? Is this going to be like the Meghan Markle podcast that was completely scripted, and after one episode, she realized that's a lot of work and I'm done?
Why is this such a big... I still don't understand why. I mean...
Well, you made me think of it with your man on the street conversation, because that's how she's a thing. It was just a man on the street interview, and she said something.
Did she give a portion of her winnings to that guy? Because without that guy who asked her the question, she would be pumping gas somewhere, whatever she was doing before.
I believe she was working in a factory before.
That guy, which is fine, great, but that guy made her $1 gajillion that asked her that question. Did she buy him a nice dinner, or, I mean, anything? I mean, that guy got nothing, and he made an internet star.
Right. He's probably like, I'm done with this man on the street stuff. He's not even doing it anymore, and here she is launching a whole career.
But think about it. That would have been, you've known me now for, 3 years? That would be, I would be so rich and so famous right now if I could have done this at 25, because I would be perfect for that. And now here I am stuck with you.
I know. You're so sorry. Sorry about your luck there. She said her show's going to have a little of everything. Great guests, laughs, chit-chats about your pets, relationship pointers, sports, and, of course, some down-home Southern charm.
Perfect show for Kurt Darling.
He's up next with your news on 93 WIBC.
Rob, are you within 5 years of filing for Social Security?
Not even close,
No,
right?
no, but I mean, I appreciate you asking. I mean, it's nice of you to care so much about what's going on in my life. Why do you ask?
Well, get this. 96% of Americans, yes, 96%, forfeit an average of $111,000 in Social Security income, and it's all because they file for benefits at the wrong time.
Now, Casey can afford to lose $111,000 in a week, but you probably can't. So learn how you can avoid this with the free, customized Social Security analysis. It's from Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy.
If you've saved more than $200,000 in retirement and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-932-9912.
You know, Casey doesn't care at all about money. She's got so much. But for some people, filing for Social Security early could result in more net income in retirement.
This free analysis pinpoints exactly how you could get the most income from Social Security, and you definitely want that. Call Bill Demery today, 317-932-9912, 317-932-9912.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Charges against their top brass. Radar is clear, partly cloudy, 65 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. The leaders of Hamas are being charged with terrorism for the October 7th attack in southern Israel. The U.S. Department of Justice said Tuesday that the 6 defendants are identified by the FBI as leaders of Hamas. The group's political leader is among the 6. They've been charged with conspiracy to commit murder against U.S. nationals, among other things. Another lawsuit against another student debt forgiveness plan from the White House. Fox's Tanya J. Powers.
The lawsuit, led by Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey, wants to stop the Education Department from carrying out a student loan forgiveness plan by the Biden administration. The plan is different from the one the Supreme Court struck down last year. The suit is joined by Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, North Carolina, and Ohio. The proposed loan forgiveness plan is set to be finalized this fall, and no debt can be forgiven under the policy before then. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
The Mega Millions jackpot is now up to $740 million. Nobody matched all 6 numbers in last night's drawing for $680 million. So the grand prize in the nationwide lottery will be rolling over to Friday's drawing. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. A bad start to the trading week. The Dow was off 48 points to 40,970. The NASDAQ is down 122 to 18,884. And the S&P 500 is down 19 to 5,523. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Family owned and operated Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to help bring you live coverage of the presidential debate as title sponsor of Debate Night with WIBC. Garage Doors of Indianapolis embraces conservative values and agrees with Thomas Jefferson that an educated citizenry is vital for the survival of a free people. When you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Discover the Cumberland Covered Bridge Festival in Matthews, September 6th through 8th. Cross over the historic 1877 covered bridge for antique engines and tractors, live entertainment, and mouth-watering food. Then check out the cool rides at the Classic Car Show Sunday at the Matthews Community Center. Get details at showmegrantcounty.com. Grant County, Indiana. Classic cool.
Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Coming up at 10 o'clock, we're going to be joined by somebody pretty amazing, in my opinion.
What a tease. What a tease.
She's got it going on. Riley Gaines is going to be on the show.
Yes. Probably against her better judgment, she's going to hang out with us on the phone at 10:06. She's the keynote speaker for the Indiana Family Institute. They got a big fall dinner coming up next week, and they have brought her in, and so she'll be with us. We'll talk a little bit about that, and that should be exciting coming up here in about 30 minutes.
Okay. So Mike Pence, let's talk about him.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. He's saying he's not going to vote for Trump.
Wait. Time it.
Again. He's saying it again. He needs attention, Rob.
Time out. Okay. First of all, he had already said this, right?
Correct. Back in March.
Okay, so this is not new. This is not something new that he's already said. Okay, so we've established
he's still beating that drum.
Right. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, the last time we had this conversation, we went back in the archives and we found various news sources saying that Mike Pence had signed a pledge saying he would vote for whoever the Republican nominee for president is. Does he know Donald Trump is the Republican nominee for president?
He does. And he's out there saying he's not going to vote for him.
So wait.
Not going to endorse him.
Wait. So you're telling me that Mike Pence signed a pledge saying he would vote for whoever the Republican nominee for president was, and now he's coming out saying he will not vote for Donald Trump for president, yet we both agree we think he knows Donald Trump is the Republican nominee for president.
So you could say he's going back on his word.
No, I would say he's a scumbag dirtball liar, Casey. How about that? Is that direct enough?
That's a different way of saying it. Here he is on Fox News.
I mean, as I have watched his candidacy unfold, I've seen him walking away from our commitment to confronting the national debt. I've seen him starting to shy away from a commitment to the sanctity of human life. And this last week is his reversal on getting tough on China and supporting our administration's effort to force a sale of ByteDance TikTok.
Why do you think he did that? Why do you think he had that reversal on that?
Because if I have to hear any more of it, I'm going to take this monitor and I'm going to start throwing it against that window behind me. Okay, so that's all fine. I'm not disputing anything Mike Pence is. I'm not even going to fight with him on anything Mike Pence is saying. He's right. He's absolutely right. Trump is ridiculous on the national debt. Trump has twisted himself into this ridiculous pretzel. He's all over the map on the sanctity of life. Not disputing that at all. But that's not the pledge Mike Pence signed. Mike Pence didn't sign a pledge when he was running for president saying, well, if I agree with the Republican nominee for president on these issues, then I'll vote for him. No, he signed a pledge saying, I will vote for the Republican nominee for president because Mike Pence had to do that in order to make a debate stage. He's a liar. He's a fraud. He's not following through on the pledge he made when he said, I will vote for who the Republican nominee for president is, which is in direct contrast to this high and mighty, holy roller persona that he presents to the American people. Mike Pence is a liar. He lies all the time. Lie.
So he's saying that Trump isn't conservative enough. And what Mike Pence doesn't realize is that by not endorsing Donald Trump, he's actually giving Donald Trump the best endorsement he could. The non-endorsement.
You're so right. Because what person is like, I mean, other than there's probably still like 7 hangers-on from the Gravy Train Brigade that spent 20 years leeching off Mike Pence, who probably may not vote for Trump now because Pence said, who else? Like, what person is like, well, you know, I was on the fence, but, you know,
Mike Pence told me.
Yeah, Mike Pence lied and went back on the pledge that he made to vote for whoever the Republican nominee for president was. So I'm going to go with him. You're right, Casey. I bet there's a lot of people who loathe that guy, who despise that guy enough that they may now vote for Trump because Pence isn't going to vote for him.
Right, exactly. Okay, let's talk about what happened in New York.
Wait.
Yeah.
Can we go back for just a second? I'm not
Sure.
done. I'm not
Oh,
done.
you're not done with
I'm
Mike
not done
Pence.
crapping on Mike Pence.
Go for it.
So let's, by the way, I mean, the guy was a subpar radio host, okay? And he was able to use his subpar radio skills because he was connected to the greatest radio station in the history, not only of the city of Indianapolis, but the state of Indiana, to elevate himself into Congress. But what is the signature? I will ask this again, and no one can ever answer this to me. What is the signature accomplishment of Mike Pence? In Congress or as governor of the state of Indiana? What's the thing that you go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad Mike Pence was there? Casey, the floor is yours.
Well, when I think of Mike Pence, I just think of RFRA.
Oh, you mean where Mike Pence twisted himself into a complete pretzel and totally embarrassed himself and the state and kept changing his mind and now ended up with a law that was worse than the one we had when we started because, well, he has no actual core. You want to talk about a guy who has no actual core conviction? How fast did that guy try to backpedal out of RFRA? Pot, meat, kettle. This guy is a fraudster. He's a joke. He's a liar. He's a loser. And I am so glad he's not endorsing Donald Trump because that might actually get Trump a couple more votes.
So why is he still appearing on like Fox News? Why did they go to him? Is it just because he was the vice president?
You got to fill 24 hours a day, Casey, 7 days a week. I mean, there's only so many people that you can, look, I mean, it makes headlines. It makes news. They send the guy.
But he already said everything he said 6 months ago.
Right. But again, you got to fill 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Look, you're right, though. Mike Pence, I mean, it really is pathetic. It really is pathetic that this is how Mike Pence is going out. He's going out. I mean, this is how he deserves to go out. But it really is pathetic that a guy who at one point, I mean, when he ran for governor of the state of Indiana in 2012, there were people who said that is a president in waiting. And look at what a colossal, pathetic embarrassment he's going out as, a guy who nobody cares what he says. He's not influencing anyone's vote, and he's going out exposing himself as the fraudster and the liar he's been for a very long time.
So the first trailer for the movie The Apprentice has dropped. You've heard about this. It's Hollywood's treatment of Donald Trump's early years. And it was at the Cannes Film Festival. And now they're actually doing a little campaign to try and raise more money to keep it out in theaters longer. You can donate. They've done a Kickstarter for this movie. $25 donation allows you to stream the film even after its theatrical release. A $100 donation earns a spot in the credits for the movie. Now,
Whoa, time out.
The Trump team.
No, time out.
Yeah.
Time out. If I give you $100, you'll put my name at the end of the movie?
Yeah, in the credits.
So it's not like I'm in there with Key Grip, Best Boy.
Nope, none of that.
No, but I'm in there, right?
Donor.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
like I'm in there. It'll be rolling. Stagehand, lighting, voiceover, assistant to Mr. Damone or whoever made the movie.
Yep.
And then Rob Kendall.
Yep. Now, the Trump team is, they sent a cease and desist letter for this movie. They said it's garbage, pure fiction. It sensationalizes lies that have long been debunked. It's going to be out on October 11th, just before the election. And it's all about his time during The Apprentice.
Oh, so it's a hit. It's a hit piece.
It's a hit piece.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Exactly. And the guy who is playing Donald Trump in the film is the same guy that played Tommy Lee in the Pam and Tommy movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you remember him? Like, his hair was black in the Pam and Tommy show. His name is Sebastian Stan.
Who?
Sebastian Stan is the actor. Now, here's the thing that's going on.
Yeah.
So not only do you have The Apprentice, which is going to be released, but there's also a short documentary film called Kamala that's also going to be released in theaters in October. So how much you want to bet The Apprentice is going to be a completely negative hit piece on Trump, and Kamala is just going to be this wonderful production about how fantastic she is.
I think you may have hit the nail on the head, Casey. Okay, so it's the question that matters, right? And this is
who's going to these?
Well, this is what I always tell people when people get all up in arms about these sort of things is who is actually being swayed? Like what person was on the fence and then they're like, I'm going to go to this kind of obscure movie that is in such financial trouble that they need $100 from you, and they'll put your name in the credits.
Theaters.
And that's going to decide your vote for president? Like what percentage of the populace does that?
And everybody in the crowd going to see The Apprentice, are they going to be wearing like Harris T-shirts and all dressed in blue?
Well, that's what
throwing
this does.
popcorn at the screen.
Remember they made that movie years ago about someone killing George W. Bush? Do you remember that? That was like a huge deal. They made a movie while Bush was still president where somebody assassinated George W. Bush. I mean, it was a totally one of these, again,
fiction.
Obscure.
Clearly.
Well, yes, he's alive, Casey.
Clearly.
No one actually, thankfully, attempted to assassinate George W. Bush. He's still with us. But I mean, that was a huge thing. Like, I can't believe they'd make a movie about someone trying to kill the president. And it's like, but again, who was swayed? Who was moved? Who whatever? I think people get too wrapped up in the existence of things sometimes rather than the impact of their existence.
How about that former deputy chief of staff for Kathy Hochul there in New York, the governor's office? FBI, Department of Justice, they've been warning for years about covert Chinese operations.
What?
And once infiltrated the governor's office.
Well, hot dang.
How obvious was it this woman was living in a $4 million home and she was just a civic employee?
So the Democrat governor got her office infiltrated.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrat congressman, Eric Swalwell, who once farted on live television, he got infiltrated by a Chinese spy. The Democrats really have got to do a better job of vetting these random, random people who just show up and suddenly want to be friends with them.
It is Kendall and Casey. You're listening to 93 WIBC.
Tonight on the Tony Kinnacast, legal fights, Venezuelan gangs, the Nashville school shooter Tranifesto, and the race for the control of the U.S. Senate. If you thought September was going to be calmer than August, you're nuts. Tune in at 7 p.m. right here at the live streams on the Daily Signals, X, and YouTube, and the podcast anytime.
Did you know you can now use your own body's healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get you real lasting pain relief? Tony Katz here. We're talking about QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, your hips, your back, your shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of medical director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. The consultation is totally free, so call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics in Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. Call 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. QC Kinetics, Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
Pat Sullivan here for Hope Plumbing. For 17 years, my friends at Hope Plumbing have treated homes like their very own. With local owners who care deeply about this community, they put your health and safety at the forefront of their business. That's why when I need plumbing help, no matter how big or small, I only call Hope Plumbing. They care about you and your family, which is why I believe they're the very best place to take your plumbing problems. Give them a call at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE or hopeplumbing.com.
Guys, if you're middle-aged and wonder why it seems harder to keep up, it may be low T. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. Not just any TRT, not websites offering basic treatments and prices that sound too good to be true. See the provider specialists at Low T Center.
They offer advanced, personalized treatments with over a decade of experience. Start with a simple test and get results in about 25 minutes. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Truck drivers, it's time to drive for a company that values your time. At Midwest Logistics Systems, you'll get home every day and have a predictable Monday through Friday schedule with occasional Saturdays. Plus, you'll enjoy the convenience of driving out and back routes and hauling no-touch, mostly drop-and-hook freight. MLS drivers also earn performance and safety bonuses and have access to a comprehensive benefits package. Explore our selection of local dedicated driving jobs and apply today at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Limited time. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, Casey, question.
Yeah.
Because you're the reasonable person on this program.
I try to be.
Yeah. It's Kendall and Casey show. Rob is my name. That's Casey. So there's a guy who was on the internet who now has disappeared. He's deleted his account. But he was a massive Florida State football fan. And Florida State, as we talked about before, they were this kind of surprise team last year who was undefeated, but was kept out of the Final Four because a bunch of their players got hurt. And the NCAA simply said, we don't care what your record is or what the points are. We're not subjecting our Final Four to some blowout where you got basically D2 players. I don't care how you lucked into getting here. It's not happening. So the Florida State people had this huge chip on their shoulder coming into this year. We got screwed. This is our year. They brought in this quarterback from Oregon State who had played at Clemson as well and was supposed to be this world beater, and they have been horrific the first 2 games. They lost to Georgia Tech, and then they lost to Boston College. And Boston College is probably not very good. Neither is Georgia Tech. But before the Boston College game, so they lost to Georgia Tech, week 2, some guy on the internet comes out and goes, I will eat dog crap. I'm so confident that Florida State is going to win this game.
Yeah.
I will eat dog crap if they lose this game. Well, now they lose, they got smoked. And so now all these people on the internet are tagging this guy.
Right.
And now there's this huge quest to find this guy who has seemingly disappeared off the internet. Trying to force him to eat dog crap because he made this huge proclamation that is what he would do if Florida State lost this game. And they lost.
Delete account.
Should this guy have to follow through and actually do the thing?
No.
Why not? He said he would do it.
People say blasphemous things all of the time
But he said it
on the internet.
He said
he
it.
was trying to get attention. He got more than he wanted.
Don't we have to force some accountability in our society?
You know what I keep seeing is it's like a clip from The Office where Michael Scott was force feeding Kevin broccoli. Like, that's that guy. No, I don't want to. No, eat it.
I love that people are being unmerciful to this guy. I love that they're not letting it go. I love that there is like people like offering rewards to find this guy to try to hold him accountable.
Somebody knows who he is.
Because, and we don't want anything bad to happen to anyone. But the fact is, there's too many people who just flap their gums with no accountability.
Oh, so that's where we're drawing the line with this guy.
All I'm saying is, if you don't intend to do it, don't say you'll do it, right? Like all the people who are like, I will leave the country if Donald Trump wins. Let's kick him out of the country.
Bye-bye. Get your plane ticket ready. Well, okay, so one of the things, Elon Musk tweeting that picture of Kamala Harris, and she's wearing communist garb.
Yeah. I think that's hilarious.
He says Kamala vows to be a communist dictator one day. Can you believe she wears that outfit? And the thing is, that looks like something that Grok made. Have you?
Who?
Grok, which is the AI on Twitter.
Oh, is that the thing I see the ad for all the time?
Yeah. Have you played around with that at all?
Hi,
No.
Casey. I'm Rob Kendall. Do I look like the
Okay,
person who would play around with?
I've played around with it. And
what like you click it and it
yeah, it's AI, and like I gave it the command. I said, create an image of a man and a woman hosting a radio show, have them wearing headphones, make the woman blonde, and then it spit out an image, and it, you know, for you and I.
Right.
And they made you have a beard, and then I said, remove the beard, and then make the man angry. And like, you know, you were like shouting.
Right.
And then I said, make the woman look surprised, you know. But this is what it looks like Elon Musk was using, his own product.
So here's the thing to me is the AI stuff to me still looks relatively, you know, the video is getting better, but the images to me.
Well, right. They still have like 3 arms.
Well, yeah. I mean, to me, it hasn't gotten that good yet to where you're like, oh my gosh, I really thought Kamala Harris was a communist, right? I saw a bunch of her people that started tweeting out Musk as a Nazi in response to that.
Yep.
But okay, so it's called Gronk? Gronk?
Gronk.
That was a football player.
G-R-O-K.
Gronk was a football.
Yeah.
So it's like Gronk without the N.
Correct. Yeah.
And this is what you do in your spare time? You like click links on Twitter and tell them to paint you a picture?
I'm exciting. Okay, so we need to revisit something from yesterday when Kamala Harris was giving her speech in Detroit, and she said, you have to thank a union member.
Right. And you've been saying that nonstop.
I know. And you had asked for the two different versions because she said it differently just a few hours later when she was in Pittsburgh.
Right. I said she's being super racist because that's not how she actually talks. And she was talking that way because of the audience in question in front of her. And to me, that's super racist.
Okay, so here are the two different versions.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time.
A little bit different, right? Okay, so Peter,
so that's super racist, right? So that's super racist what she did.
Absolutely. So Peter Ducey was on Fox News, and he decided to ask Karine Jean-Pierre about Kamala's new Southern accent.
A different topic. Since when does the vice president have what sounds like a Southern accent?
Better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
I mean, this is...
She was talking about unions in Detroit using one tone of voice.
Is this something that
same
you think...
line.
Okay, Peter.
That she used the same line in Pittsburgh, and it sounded like she at least had some kind of a Southern drawl.
I mean, do you hear the question that you're... I mean, do you think Americans seriously think that this is an important question? They care... You know what they care about? They care about the economy. They care about lowering costs. They care about health care. That's what Americans care about.
So
that's what they want to hear.
This is something...
They care about. Your colleague just asked me about what basically we talked about, went back and forth about democracy and freedom. That's what they care about. I'm not even going to entertain some question about the president. It's just hearing it sounds so ridiculous.
Well, but hearing it is
the question. I'm talking about the question is just insane.
Is that how she talks in meetings here?
I'm just Peter. We're moving on. We're so moving on.
Did you hear her almost call her the president?
Well, and I love that she acts like she has no idea what she's talking about.
What are you talking about?
Like every person knows because she's a colossal fraudster, and that's why it matters. She lies about everything.
All right, Riley Gaines is set to join us coming up. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
According to a 2023 Gallup poll, 71% of non-retired adults are worried about retirement saving. At Howard Bailey Financial, we don't believe retiring with confidence should be guesswork. In fact, our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we provide our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you won't outlive. To receive your complimentary toolkit, text CLARITY to 866-482-9559. Take a step toward a more confident retirement with Howard Bailey Financial and text CLARITY to 866-482-9559.
This endorsement was not provided by a client of Howard Bailey. This individual was compensated for this endorsement. For more information, visit howardbailey.com/TS1.
Fox, CNN, other news sources are reporting home prices are expected to decline into 2025, even after the election. Maximize your home sales price now before this downturn with the agent proven to sell for top dollar, Mark Dietel. Maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades to sell your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Sarah in Fountain Square had to say about working with Mark Dietel. After investing in a property in Fountain Square, I ran into some financial trouble and needed to sell the place fast. After hearing about Mark Dietel from friends, I hired him. Mark was able to sell my property within weeks over list price. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, it's our Made in the USA Labor Day sale. Lazy Boy recliners start at $3.99. Queen mattresses start at $3.99. And sofas start at $4.99. Interest-free financing available, free delivery, and cash discounts on select items. Plus, low price guarantee on Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster mattresses. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a new decision made by the judge in the Delphi murders case, and it's been a long time coming for the Indiana Fever. I'm Kirk Darling. That and more coming up from the Technology Recycler Studios after Fox News on 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
A Secret Service response. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, to the whistleblower allegations detailed to Fox by Republican Senator Josh Hawley related to the security failures in the Trump assassination attempt.
Most of the agents who were there at that rally in Butler were not Secret Service agents. They were, in fact, Homeland Security agents. And get this, most of those Homeland Security agents, the only training that they received was an online webinar, a 2-hour online webinar.
The Secret Service, in a statement just out, says they've provided records, done interviews, and will learn from this failure and ensure it never happens again. Tonight, former President Trump's back in Pennsylvania for a town hall with Sean Hannity on Fox News Channel at 9 p.m. Eastern. Before that, this afternoon,
Vice President Harris, she is in New Hampshire today talking about efforts to boost small businesses. She's promising to increase tax deductions for new small businesses, also encourage localities to cut red tape.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. As Republicans try to win control of the Senate in November's elections, they have an underdog candidate now in Massachusetts.
Former U.S. Marine and cryptocurrency lawyer John Deaton winning the GOP nomination in a landslide. He'll now face progressive Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren in November. It will be an uphill climb for Deaton to pull off an upset because of the Commonwealth's deep blue leanings. But Republican victories aren't uncommon in Massachusetts.
As Fox's Ryan Schmelz, House Republicans have sent a subpoena to Secretary of State Antony Blinken to testify at a hearing later this month into the 2021 U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan that was hurried and chaotic as the Taliban retook control of the country and marred by a suicide bombing that killed 13 American troops. GOP Congressman Scott Perry tells Fox Business.
America demands answers. This is a stain on America's credibility that is enduring.
The State Department says the subpoena is unnecessary, that Blinken's testified multiple times already. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They can't talk about it. Radar is clear, 68 and partly cloudy downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. A new ruling by the judge in the Delphi murders case. Richard Allen's defense has been wanting to use theories about the murders being attached to Odinism in their defense strategy, but Judge Fran Gull says any theories related to Odinism will not be admissible in the upcoming trial. Gull says the defense has not produced any admissible evidence that the murders could be tied to the ancient religion. Sex crimes against children led to the arrest of an Indianapolis police officer. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Kamal Bola was arrested on Tuesday night by the Hendricks County Sheriff's Office. Bola works in the Internal Affairs Department for IMPD. He's facing 3 counts of child molesting and public voyeurism. Bola is the second Internal Affairs cop to be arrested for sex crimes against kids in the last several weeks. Javid Richards, a 12-year veteran of the department, has a court date next month for child exploitation. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A man from Honduras attacked a girl with a knife at a baseball game in Northwest Indiana on Sunday. Matt Raymond was coaching third base at the game when it happened.
Everybody wants to know why he chose her. Like, was she just because she was the only one on the bleacher? Was it because she was maybe he thought she was vulnerable? No one knows.
Dimas Yanis was arrested on Tuesday. Police say that he entered the country illegally through Texas. A 2-year-old child drowned in a lake in Warsaw over the weekend. The coroner releasing the details on Tuesday, saying that a little boy died of drowning, but police are not saying much about how the boy ended up in Center Lake. They are not suspecting foul play, though. For the first time in 8 years, the Indiana Fever are back in the WNBA playoffs. The Fever clinching a playoff spot thanks to the Chicago Sky and the Atlanta Dream both losing Tuesday night. Head coach Christy Side says they're not taking their foot off the gas.
We haven't done anything yet. We want to, we picked up the 17th win, which was excellent, but we're not stopping there, but we're not changing what we've been doing to get us to that point.
They have the Los Angeles Sparks tonight. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
You know, Casey, it's a real statement. It's a ridiculous statement, but it's a real statement that in 2024, one of the great fights in our society is keeping men out of women's sports.
Yes, I know. It's crazy to think about that. And you guys ask me all the time, why don't we hear from more women who are speaking out about this? And I just absolutely admire and appreciate everything that our next guest has done for women in sports.
Yes, she is one of the leaders in fighting for common sense, which is keeping men out of women's sports. And she is coming to Indianapolis coming up on Monday, September 16th. She's going to headline the Indiana Family Institute 2024 Fall Dinner. Riley Gaines joins us now. Riley, hello.
Good morning, you two.
She is so friendly.
I know.
Have you ever considered a career in morning radio, Riley?
Oh, gosh, I'm not that crazy, you guys.
Okay, so tell us why you're coming to Indianapolis. What about the Indiana Family Institute appeals to you and why you're headlining their fall dinner?
Well, gosh, first and foremost, I'm thrilled to be coming to Indianapolis. As you guys know, this is the home of the NCAA, which the NCAA is complicit. Honestly, they're responsible. They're the ones who have allowed this insanity from the inception and certainly since. They have allowed it to continue at an exponential rate. I've talked to girls, especially since school has started back up this fall. Girls, cycling teams, track and field, swimming, you name the sport. I've talked to girls. Girls have reached out. They've said, our coaches are allowing boys, men, onto our teams. What do we do? And so I'm excited to come to Indianapolis for that purpose, to let our voices, and I say ours strategically because I'm not just speaking for myself, let our voices be heard to Charlie Baker and the likes thereof. Also excited to come to Indiana because, as we just heard in that promo a few minutes ago, this is the home of Caitlin Clark now.
Yeah.
Which I'm a big fan of Caitlin Clark, a big fan of the Fever and what they've got going on there. And, of course, of the Family Policy Institute, what they're doing, the fight that they're fighting, how they're on the ground, representing people like myself, just your everyday people who see the insanity happening around this country, whether it's the gender ideology movement. We also heard in the promo a ton of, really unfortunate things surrounding the problems of having and the harms of having open borders. So representing everyday people on the ground, which is crucial.
You have a very large voice now, and you're using it for wonderful stuff with all of your advocacy. Have you tried to reach out to anyone like Caitlin Clark and get her to come to appearances or speeches with you? How do we make more women involved and repeating the message that you are putting out there?
If I knew, oh my goodness, I would be all about it. It's hard. I've reached out to Caitlin Clark. I've reached out to Angel Reese. I've reached out to, even Dawn Staley, which is, of course, the coach of the South Carolina National Championship basketball team. After her comments last year saying she was totally okay with males being allowed to compete on her South Carolina National Championship basketball team. I've reached out to people like Billie Jean King. What do you think of Billie Jean King? This is the woman who led the charge, really, in the 60s and the 70s. We really have her to thank for Title IX. She played in the Battle of the Sexes, and she won, and it was this huge feat for women, not even just women in sports, but women as a whole. But now you would be surprised, maybe you wouldn't, you might be shocked to hear that Billie Jean King is leading the charge in dismantling single-sex sports and single-sex spaces like locker rooms. So it's difficult, but I will say there's been some success. We have people on our side like Martina Navratilova, the tennis phenom, which it really shows how this is a unifying issue because me and Martina politically don't agree on anything really.
Right.
But we agree on this topic. She knows, look, I wouldn't have had the chances for success that I had if men were allowed to compete in our sports.
Riley Gaines is our guest. She's going to be headlining the Indiana Family Institute 2024 Fall Dinner. It's Monday, September 16th. Okay, so do you have a theory on why that so many women in sports appear to be okay or at least silent about men coming into the sports? That's Casey and I struggle with this all the time. Do you have a theory on why more people won't speak out?
Well, it's not even necessarily a theory. I know why people don't because I was there. And it's entirely because of fear. Girls are terrified. And understandably so. What we went through in college, I think the best way to describe it, truthfully, is emotional blackmail that our universities put us through. We had to go through re-education training. We had to go to sensitivity lessons to learn how to be kind, to learn how to be inclusive. Quite literally, they told us to learn how to be okay seeing naked male genitalia.
Wait, Riley. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you just said something there that just blows my mind, and I want to make sure I heard you properly. They actually had courses on teaching you to be okay as a woman seeing male genitalia in the locker rooms.
That's right, because they told us that some women do, in fact, have penises. I can't even believe I'm saying that on live radio.
That's not true.
What our universities, that's what they told us. And it sounds crazy. And outside looking in, I mean, it's easy for someone to say, the insanity of it. And yes, of course, but it's effective what they're doing to 18, 19, 20-year-old girls. They literally told us that we would be equivalent to murderers if we spoke up about this because someone could inflict self-harm and it would be our fault, and then they would follow up with, and you don't want that, do you? You don't want to have blood on your hands? No, so I suggest you be kind and I suggest you be inclusive. I could talk for hours, truthfully, about the gaslighting, the manipulation, the intimidation effects that we face from the likes of the NCAA to stay silent, not only to stay silent, to celebrate what they were doing.
So you recently appeared before the Georgia General Assembly, their special committee, and you were asking the president of Georgia Tech, why didn't you protect me? And I believe to date you still have not received a response. Is that correct?
The only response that I have received from President Cabrera of Georgia Tech is he's blocked me on social media. So what that tells me is he heard my message loud and clear. He got it. There's no denying that he heard what I had to say, yet the weak-kneed, spineless, morally bankrupt coward that he is, he would rather pretend that me and the hundreds of other girls who he allowed to be traumatized and violated and exploited on his campus, he would rather pretend that we don't exist than take accountability or any sort of responsibility.
Riley Gaines is our guest. She's going to be headlining the Indiana Family Institute's 2024 Fall Dinner, Monday, September 26th. You can get more information at HoosierFamily.org. So I'm curious, Riley, were you political at all before this happened? Were you aware of politics? How did you make that decision of, hey, I've got to step up and lead on this issue?
Well, first and foremost, I've always been a Christian, which those values typically align conservative for the most part. And so I would say I've always been someone who has thought conservatively, but never, I was never inclined to be involved. I wasn't interested. I thought politics were for old men, which I still certainly believe that. And so it took a while for me to really lean into this space because, again, it's never something, even still, it's not something that I want to do. Probably similar to morning radio. You've got to be clinically insane to want to do that. I'm kidding. We need you guys. So God bless you guys.
Do you like speaking? Do you like going places? Yeah. Have you gotten to the point where you're comfortable with it?
I have gotten very comfortable. I've just reached a point where, of course, I see the necessity. I see the urgency, to be totally frank. And so it's led me some pretty cool places. Even just a week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, I got to introduce President Trump at his rally in Arizona, where he brought out RFK. And so, that was in front of 20,000 people. And so I've reached a point where I'm so secure with not only just myself, but with the argument. You can't trip me up on this. It's very matter of fact. It's very black and white. There is man, there is woman. There are two sexes. You can't change your sex, and each sex is deserving of equal opportunity, of safety, and of privacy.
So you had mentioned RFK Jr., and I'm curious how you feel about his endorsement of Donald Trump.
I think it's great. I think what this shows, whether it's RFK, whether it's Tulsi Gabbard, what this shows, which is different than what they want you to believe, and when I say they, I do mean traditional mainstream media, it shows you that the Republican Party is the party of unity. That's what this is. And so being there, sitting front row, watching this happen, I was thrilled by this. You couldn't have told me 5 years ago that a Kennedy, the most powerful Democratic family in American history would be endorsing a Republican, and not only just a Republican, Donald Trump for president. It's huge. It shows, I think, really, again, it shows unity, but it shows just how far and radical the other side has gone.
Riley Gaines, our guest. Minute left with her. She's headlining the Indiana Family Institute's 2024 Fall Dinner. That's Monday, September 16th. You can get more information about tickets at HoosierFamily.org. All right, very important question, Riley, to get you out of here. Kentucky is a 10-point favorite this Saturday at home against South Carolina. Can Kentucky cover 10 points against South Carolina?
I sure hope so. Hopefully everyone on this program, listening to this program, hopefully we can all just agree. There's a lot of bad teams, right? But the most annoying team is University of Tennessee. So I'm always cheering for anyone but University of Tennessee. And so I love a good SEC rival, and I'm hopeful and confident that Kentucky will come out on top.
All right, there you go. Riley Gaines, we will see you Monday night. Appreciate you spending a few minutes with us to talk about this very important issue.
You got it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
Kamala Harris is there right now. She's the de facto president because, let's be honest, President Applesauce Brains isn't calling the shots. It's her and the Obamas. And they're talking about how we need to have hope in this country. Donald Trump has not been the president for nearly 4 years now. And 12 of the last 16 years has been Democrat leadership. So why do we need hope? This is your doing. It's ridiculous.
Hammer and Nigel. Weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life downright miserable. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we are committed to eliminating your nasal breathing problems with simple in-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty, which requires no surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. At Advent, We understand your inability to breathe freely limits your quality of life. And that's why we continue to pioneer the most advanced in-office procedures that have made our practice a global destination for those seeking to live their highest quality of life. Visit AdventNose.com to see if you're a candidate for the balloon sinuplasty procedure. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventNose.com.
Results may vary.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
The best tailgates before the Colts games are back, presented by Real Alternatives. Join us at the tailgate lot at McCarty and Church Street at 10 a.m. before the Colts-Texans game. Admission is free. Ice-cold Bud Light for purchase, Jack Daniels and food trucks. Mingle with the ladies from Twin Peaks and personalities from our station. Sign up to win tickets and upgrades for the game and $100 in Colts cash from Bud Light. No purchase necessary, but you must be present to win. Tailgate with us starting at 10 a.m. at McCarty and Church Street, presented by Real Alternatives.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Hey, can we talk about your president for just a second?
Oh, the current president.
The current president.
The guy who, doesn't. I mean, what does he do all day?
Well, he just got back from, what was that, like an 18-day vacation? Good for him.
So
I wonder if he thanked a union member.
So you're talking about Biden?
I am talking about Biden.
So he was at some event yesterday, and he sat down at some little tiny desk.
He was at a baby desk.
Looks like Olivia. Olivia has a desk like that at home.
Right, little booster seat. Okay, so we actually have audio of this, and he's not really saying much, but you can still hear him. Check it out.
Folks.
Some heavy breathing.
We're ready.
Okay. Why is he sitting at a little desk?
4, 3, 2.
Why did they make an entire set?
Can we just first of all talk about how hilarious the old man breathing is? I mean, the fact that they just they sent him out there. And there's no way they're not just messing with him at this point. You send him out, you know he doesn't know his name or where he's at. He can barely speak, he can barely walk, and they send him out to some tiny desk and let him wheeze into a microphone, and they just leave him out there. I mean, what? But here's the thing. Is he
not allowed in the Oval Office anymore?
But he's no worse off than he was 6 months ago when he was supposedly running the country.
Right. He's still supposedly running the country.
Oh, no. Nobody, but they're not even acting like that at this point, are they? I mean, what was he doing yesterday? And why was he at a baby desk?
Why are they doing this in the Oval Office? He's signing something as part of his investing in America, and he's at a baby. Is it to make him look bigger? Like, let's shrink the desk down. He won't look as feeble and old if the desk is smaller.
There's no way they're not doing this deliberately. There's no way they weren't like, now we'll send, because Biden at this point,
he won't know the difference.
Well, Biden is Ron Burgundy, right at this point. He has no idea he'll just whatever you tell him to do, or
right.
I mean, he's not having cognitive thought where he's like, oh, that's going to make me look like an idiot. Why would I do that? This is ridiculous. And what you're doing is you're showing the real world implication of this is you're showing North Korea and Russia and China and Iran. You're showing all these people. There's no one in charge of this country.
Right. So he was at one of Kamala Harris's campaign events in Pittsburgh, and this happened over the weekend, but it was just so awful. I still want to review it. His speaking capabilities have gotten worse since he dropped out of the presidential race.
You can no longer be the manufacturing capital of the world. Where the hell is that written? We are the greatest manufacturing city, county in the world, state in the world, state in the world.
What? So this is the same guy that the media said was totally fine just a couple of months ago.
Right.
Nothing's really changed about
What
him.
was it?
Other than he's gotten worse.
It was city. Can we just get like the end of that there or whatever? Though he screams. That's
He can't
kind of funny
determine
too.
where he is.
Yeah,
Am I
it's
talking
city-
about a city, a state, a country? What is it?
Manufacturing capital of the world. Where the hell is that written? We are the greatest manufacturing city, county in the world, state in the world, state in the world.
Did he say Satan?
Well, so we got in this order. You've got swearing, you've got shouting, and then you've got incoherent mumbling. Where at one point it's a city, it's a county, it's a state, and then the thing at the end, Kev thinks it may have been Satan. We don't know. That's your president. And Kamala and the people around her are running a campaign based on Joe Biden's totally fine and everything's great, and he did a great job as president.
The weird thing about all of this is Suffolk University just did a poll, and his approval rating has actually gone up.
Well,
it's because he dropped out, right?
Well, right. He did what the Democrats wanted him to do. So now there are Democrats saying, Joe, you're doing an excellent job. I mean, he's getting all this praise because he did what they wanted him to do. This country is in so much trouble, Casey, that we can't even have an honest conversation about this man should not be left alone, much less running a country. And I'm very, 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 very concerned about the future of our nation.
So he's now saying that Secret Service won't let him go out much because it's too dangerous for him right now.
What does that mean? It's too dangerous. What do you mean? Why would it be any more dangerous than it ever is?
It's more dangerous now.
Like as in you can't walk?
Right.
Like as in you just meander?
And it was reported that Senator Josh Hawley said that he was informed that Donald Trump, the Butler, Pennsylvania rally, that it was actually Homeland Security personnel that were protecting him and not Secret Service, and that the training they had was a 2-hour online webinar.
So how is this whole thing just kind of disappeared? I mean, why?
Are you talking about the assassination
Right.
attempt?
Yeah. Like what? Where? This is Vegas all over again, where this heinous thing happens. And then you're just led to believe this totally illogical explanation with all sorts of holes in it. Like, yeah, this kid just randomly just decided he was going to shoot Trump. And then he just picked the one building that wasn't secured. And he knew to look up that building. Like, so this Butler, Pennsylvania was like 25 miles away from where this kid lived.
Yeah.
So that's the equivalent of, and it's not exactly, but it's the equivalent of, I live in Brownsburg. It's equivalent of going to Crawfordsville. Would I know what buildings to look up? And I mean, I've been to Crawfordsville like maybe 10 times in my whole life, or maybe 20, who knows? But like, would I know? I mean, how did he know to search that building? How did he know that was the building? I mean, do you see how illogical this is? That it's not like it's his hometown. It's like someplace the guy would be, intricately know the intricacies of.
Right.
And yet everybody's just like with Vegas. Somehow this guy got all that weaponry and there's no video of it. There's cameras everywhere. It's the same thing. And the media just goes, oh, yeah, well, things happen.
Don't worry about that. We're not paying attention to that anymore.
They found out enough to make allegations that RFK Jr. was a drug dealer 50 years ago in college.
Right.
But they can't tell you about this guy that tried to kill the president.
We've got your voicemails coming up, and the news is on the way from 93 WYBC.
Is your pet a digging enthusiast, an escape artist, or a counter surfer? Invisible Fence brand has you covered. For the wannabe landscaper, we've got a solution to keep them active but not destructive. For the escape artist, our personalized pet fences keep them safe and sound at home. Counter surfer? No problem. We know how to keep cheese thieves at bay. Invisible Fence brand. Tailor-made solutions for your pet, your yard, and your needs. Visit invisiblefence.com today.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center by offering the expert, compassionate care you need.
When I was at my lowest, I would have 2 or 3 nurses come in to give me a pep talk, telling me it's okay to feel this way. It's normal, but you have us to support you and you will get through this.
Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
Guy Relford here. Time again for the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show this coming weekend at the State Fairgrounds, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's never been a more important time to exercise our rights as true Americans. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. See the best in sporting, hunting, and personal protection gear, plus great displays of Americana. Come see us this weekend at the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show, Friday 2 to 7, Saturday 9 to 6, and Sunday 9 to 4. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. See you there.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
My name is Dawn, and I'm a former Marine, and I get my health care at Veteran Health Indiana. Just this week, when I was worried about how my hand was healing, I called the patient care line, talked to a nurse, and had an appointment to see my doctor for the next day. I trust my care team, and I trust Veteran Health Indiana.
Did you or a loved one serve in the United States military? You need to learn more about the veterans' health benefits that could be available to you. Visit vacares.us. That's vacares.us. And thank you for your service.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're on the move. Radar is clear. 71 and sunny downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Both presidential candidates are hitting key areas of voters today.
The former president, he is going to be in Pennsylvania speaking with Fox at a town hall. Vice President Harris, she is in New Hampshire today talking about efforts to boost small businesses. She's promising to increase tax deductions for new small businesses, also encourage localities to cut red tape. Former President Trump continues to poll better on the economy, and he's unlikely to cede the issue anytime soon. He's going to be speaking at the New York Economic Club tomorrow.
Fox's Mark Meredith. Chase Bank says that a viral TikTok trend is check fraud. Over the weekend, videos on TikTok showed users depositing fake checks for large amounts of money and quickly withdrawing the cash from their accounts. Some users claimed that a glitch in the bank's system allowed people to get the cash. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Have you lost Indiana Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It's not too late to get the backyard of your dreams this year. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present Voicemails. Brought to you by QC Kinetics for non-surgical regenerative medicine treatment at 317-559-PAIN.
317-684-8444. That is the phone number if you'd like to get involved with voicemails, questions, comments, smart remarks, whatever is on your mind. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And this first phone call comes from a truck driver who would like to make a comment about vacation time.
I'm a little upset this morning. The reason I called in is I haven't had vacation time in so long. I'm a truck driver and currently in the middle of Iowa somewhere, and haven't had any. But for the times that I do have vacation time, I'd like to hang on a second. I'd like to thank all you union members out there for my vacation time. That's all I got today. Thanks. Have a great day. Be blessed. Bye.
He sounds exhausted.
Thanks to all of our truck drivers
I know.
out there.
They're amazing. They're amazing. Okay, so you made a comment yesterday, Rob, about the statue of Richard Lugar.
Oh, you said this. You took a huge sigh before you said this.
I'm setting you up.
Well, okay. So here's the thing, and I'm sure there were just establishment people who were just losing their minds screaming at their radios. But they erected some statue to Richard Lugar in front of the city-county building over there at Lugar Plaza. And to me, I say this about all politicians, right? Why are we erecting statues to politicians? This just happens to be one to Richard Lugar. But what do? They spend our money. None of anything that they ever accomplished, and take away the fact that Richard Lugar was just basically a career politician. He went from being mayor of the city. His signature thing, Unigov, was a disaster. And then he became a U.S. senator for my entire life until he was, and the guy was thrown out on his ass by the voters. It wasn't like he went, like with some sort of king's farewell. He was doing such a terrible job, he got smoked in a primary on his way out the door.
So now we've got a statue of him.
So my question is, why do we keep erecting statues to politicians and not to the taxpayers who fund all of the stuff that these politicians do? I'm not trying to pick on Richard Lugar. He's just the guy getting a statue. But I mean, I guess maybe naming something after a president, I don't know, is fine. But these politicians don't exist without us. They never do anything for us. Never anything for us. It's so anyway, I went off on that at the end of the show yesterday. In fairness, I did ask you if I should do it or not do it.
Yeah.
And you told me to do it.
Well, I told you to do it. That's what we do here. We have opinions.
I mean, I think that's a fair thing to be pissed off about, right? I mean, this guy's getting a statue. For what? He was just there a long time.
Joe Hogsett said that he truly put Indianapolis on the map like it had never been before. There were a lot of dignitaries in town, including Condoleezza Rice, Mike Pence. Eric Holcomb sent his wishes from Italy, by the way, because he's not in town.
The whole axis of evil was there. Yes, Casey, thank you.
All right, so here's the phone call about that.
Rob, I got to agree with you. Having a statue for Dick or Richard Lugar, whatever you wanted to call him, I prefer to call him Dick. He used to cut my grandfather used to cut his hair for years up on 421 Michigan Road, and was a friend. My grandfather had worked on the railroad and built a couple houses a year. And then later on in life, I heard how he stole land from Mooresville and their cattle. So as far as to enhance his wealth, as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't need a statue. He needs to actually just be forgotten in Indiana history. Sorry, man. It's the way I feel and the way I know it, and I can prove it all. Thanks. See ya.
Okay, well, I don't know about some of that stuff, but what I do know is this. And again, he probably was a fine father and grandfather, and I don't want the guy to be forgotten. I'm sure many people loved him, and he was probably a very nice man. My point on it is, though, living, deceased, whatever, treating these politicians like they're some sort of deity or royalty, they're not. All they do is take money from us and spend it. Without us, there is no them. So even if you had the greatest and I would say this about Rand Paul, I would say this about Ron Paul, I would say this about Thomas Massey. That's probably about the only three I actually like. But, I don't, none of these politicians. I've said this for years about these people who at these political events line up for these meet and greets and to take photos with these people and pay money for what? All they do is take stuff from you and spend it. That's it. Rinse and repeat. City councilmen, town councilmen, mayors, governors, state reps, state senators, congressmen, senators. They're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's fine that they exist. I mean, somebody has got to do the job, I guess. I am angry at their existence based on how they behave, but we shouldn't be acting like they're something great. And I heard people, well, he changed the skyline of downtown. No, he didn't. He didn't build it himself. Richard Lugar wasn't out there with a hammer and a chisel erecting Market Square Arena. We did that. The taxpayers of the day did all of that. It's our money. So that was the whole point on that.
You should get some private donors together and make a statue for the taxpayers. If they gave you an option to have a Rob Kendall statue or a taxpayer statue, which would you pick?
Well, that depends. What am I getting the statue for and where's it going?
Anywhere in Indianapolis.
Well, okay, so like we had this conversation about Peyton Manning being in front of Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah.
Or Reggie Miller. I don't even think is there a Reggie Miller statue in front of Gainbridge? No, there's weirdly a John Wooden statue in front of Gainbridge, which John Wooden he went to Martinsville and then Indiana State or Purdue? Yeah, Purdue. Coached at Indiana State. He had some connection to the state of Indiana, but no actual connection really to the city of Indianapolis that would warrant a statue outside of Cambridge.
So you're like, if they're going to put it in Brownsburg, you want it to be of you.
Well, I'm saying, what is it for? Are you saying it because we should erect this statue to, are you saying, well, the Ronald Reagan connection from Avon to Brownsburg would not have existed without Rob Kendall's vision? Well, I wouldn't want a statue for that because the taxpayers paid for that. If you're saying we're going to erect a statue in front of Arbuckle Park because Rob Kendall is a beloved son who always spoke passionately about Brownsburg and brought great reflection upon the town. Well, that's different, right? Just like a Peyton Manning statue as a Colts player in front of Lucas Oil Stadium.
Right.
Or if Reggie Miller had a statue in front of Gainbridge, which does he? I don't know. I've never seen it. He should, right? I mean, or Slick Leonard or whoever. I'm just saying we shouldn't erect statues to politicians based on things they did with public money.
With our money.
Right.
Okay, here's a phone call about Kamala Harris and fracking.
Hey, Robin Casey, it's Randy Noblesville. Hey, just a comment on Kamala's comments about fracking. I think everyone's missing the point. She's going to say she's not going to ban fracking. The real question is, how widespread will the fracking be? If my memory serves me correctly, Biden severely restricted the amount of fracking that would be done in certain areas. So technically, he allowed for some fracking, but he limited it to the extent that it wasn't of any value. So I think you got to kind of read between the lines with Kamala and realize that she's talking out of both sides of her mouth, but she's also being very coy. And then if she were to be elected president, you'd find out that, well, I'm allowing fracking. It's just not that widespread. I'm going to restrict it, limit it, so it can't be done in certain areas, probably nowhere on any government lands, and probably even limit what's being done in certain areas on private lands. That's my comment. Take care, guys.
Yeah, so she can say that she's for it now. She's softened on it, but even if it's completely reduced.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, here's a phone call about Jennifer McCormick, who unveiled her 5-pillar education plan.
Hi, Kendall and Cassie. I don't understand McCormick, who is running for governor. Wasn't she the superintendent of education for the state of Indiana? Now she comes out and says that we're so far behind and the teachers need more money and everybody else needs to do this, that, and the other because the kids, when they're like 3 years old, should already be reading and doing all this other. What was she doing when she was the superintendent of education? Just a question. Like your show. Bye.
Well, I believe the word you're looking for is pandering. But let's remind everybody of the history of Jennifer McCormick, because this is very important. Because it's very important. After we are done this year, it is so important that the Republican Party turn the page, not just turn the page, but rip the page out, tear it up, light it on fire, stomp it out of Eric Holcomb and the people who have run the Republican Party. And Braun's going to have an opportunity to do that. And we'll find out real quick, right out of the gate, if Braun and Micah are going to turn the page on the crony capitalistic, insider, elitist bullcrap in which super liberal people who put an R next to their name have dominated the Republican Party the past 8 years. So Jennifer McCormick was a Democrat. Everybody knew she was a Democrat. But Eric Holcomb and Kyle Hupfer and the Good Time Fun Gang of the establishment did not want an actual conservative. There was a conservative running for superintendent at the Republican convention, and they were absolutely 100% not going to have that or tolerate that, because those people, and they've proven this over the past 8 years, would much rather deal with Democrats, would much rather play with Democrats, would much rather get along and placate Democrats than they would conservatives. These people loathe conservatives. And so they found, air quote, Jennifer McCormick. They ran her at convention. They propped her up at convention and got her elected at convention against a rock-solid conservative. And she knew exactly what she was getting into with them, just like they knew exactly what they were getting into with her. So the idea that either of these sides, because, of course, then they immediately moved once they got her in there to take away that position as an elected position, because they didn't actually want to deal with her. They just didn't want a conservative in there, and they needed to buy themselves some time, because McCormick would support, like, they can fight about some public stuff, but by and large, they agree on this gigantic public education boondoggle. Holcomb and McCormick and Hupfer and all those people were all in on that together. And so she is a creation of Eric Holcomb and Kyle Hupfer. And she knew what she was getting into when she got in bed with them. And they're all colossal fraudsters. There, how about that?
She said that part of her plan is to prioritize raising teacher salaries to $60,000 a year. And she said the state could reprioritize funding to cover some of the cost of increasing teacher pay.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm not being facetious when I ask this, because math was not my strong suit in high school nor college. So thanks to the very high IQ people who are in the General Assembly, we once had a surplus of $6 billion not that long ago.
Right.
They spent that down deliberately to roughly $2.4 billion.
And didn't they spend that down on teacher pensions?
They on a variety of as we like to call them, one-time expenses,
right.
Casey. So if we operate from the standpoint that we have $2.4 billion sitting in our state's bank account, and Jennifer McCormick has put forward a tax plan, or a property tax plan, that has no local government accountability whatsoever, and everything is paid for by the state, all the air quote savings or refunds or whatever. And the conservative estimate is $600 million a year for her plan. So if we're going to lose $600 million annually on her plan because the state's paying for everything, how many years would that take before the $2.4 billion is gone, Casey?
So you want me to do math?
Yeah, how many? 600 million.
Yeah.
Goes into 2.4 billion how many times?
It's like 4, right?
Yeah, it's not like 4. It is 4, yes. So in 4 years, the state's totally bankrupt. But yet she's also going to raise teacher pay,
right,
which is paid for by the state of Indiana. Don't forget, when the tax caps went into place, or all this supposed lost revenue, all the teacher pay shifted from the locals to the state. So somehow Jennifer McCormick is going to defy math and give $600 million a year in property tax reductions or cuts or payments for property tax offsets, and raise teacher pay to $60,000 a year. I'm not being facetious when I ask that.
Both can't be true at the same time.
How does this math actually work?
Yeah, it doesn't. Both can't be true at the same time. There's like a money fairy, just like there's a water
There's
fairy.
a water fairy.
Yeah, got a lot of those going around. Hammer's going to join us next. It's 93 WIBC.
Bigly. That's how I would describe the Hammer and Nigel show this afternoon. We start at 3:06. Biggest stories of the day. A lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Tony Kennett will join us. Contests out the backside. Let's go. 93 WIBC.
Our goal is to provide patients with the strongest, most effective, and safest options in this exciting field of regenerative medicine.
Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
The idea that you can avoid a joint replacement is very exciting.
And that's from a surgeon who's done thousands of joint replacements, but who now believes there's a better way.
Regenerative medicine, as we understand it today, gives lasting pain relief, improved function, without surgery, without drugs.
Under Dr. Dr. Scheinkopf's leadership, QC Kinetics medical professionals treat patients every day with the most advanced protocols in natural biologics. Literally tens of thousands of people all over America.
I've been doing research on regenerative medicine for 2 decades. This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. In Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Limited time. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Pat Sullivan here for Michaelis. Owner Richard Michaelis has seen it all when it comes to water, storms, fire, and mold damage.
Hi, Pat. When that damage arises, we'll respond to you 24/7, 365. Our professionals will restore your business or your home to a pre-loss condition or better. We pride ourselves on being empathetic with our customers, and that includes working through the insurance process on your behalf.
Water, storms, fire, or mold, life happens, and Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Sundown Gardens has nursery and mum shipments weekly, plus 50% off pottery. 186th Street, Spring Mill Road in Westfield. SundownGardens.com.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIPC.com.
There he is, Jason Hammer, joining us from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel program. Good morning.
Good morning. Mornings like today are perfect for a Hammer and Nigel Show hoodie, which you can buy right now, store.hammerandnigel.com. Just do a Google search, Hammer and Nigel store. The Rob Kendall collection is there.
You got a call about that on Caller Roulette yesterday. I was listening.
Yes. Somebody wants to know if we can create a new shirt that says, I love to hate Rob Kendall.
Yeah.
Smart.
To which we said, that sounds like a lot of work. Why don't you just buy 2 shirts and then sew them together like people were doing with those Peyton Manning jerseys for a little while there?
Yep. I love that Caller Roulette. That's it. That and Lewd Nude Dude in the News are 2 favorite things that you do. Did I hear correct yesterday? You have a margarita machine at your house now?
Yes. And we're not talking about some little nickel and dime thing like the old Snoopy snow cone machine that everybody had as a kid. kid. We're talking about the type you would see at a resort when you go to Florida.
Wow.
We bought one of those big things that rotates all the time and has got margaritas on tap whenever you want one.
I love that you kicked one of your kids out of the house and you and your wife just basically went on permanent vacation.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Jacob's still in the house, but he goes up to his room, puts his earbuds on, and we probably don't see him for the next 8 hours.
And you have a plan to get him out of the house in the near future.
Yes, he's going to move in with his brother once he graduates high school, which we believe will be a year early.
And I love the fact that you didn't even waste any time. You're not like, maybe when he leaves or let's make sure he continues to feel welcome. You let him know your ass is out of here in 2 years, and Mama and I are getting ready.
But it's not like, they're moving to Guam.
Right, that's
They're
correct.
next door.
Sure.
So they've got the big house next door because Crystal's mom, the late great, God bless her, she hated people so much. She bought the house next door to her because she didn't want neighbors. Like, that's how much she hated people. So she left it in her will that that house was going to go to the boys. So when she passed away, we did some renovations, still working a little bit on it, but it's Chris's awesome bachelor pad right now. And then Jake's going to have to try to find a way to do some homework in that thing here in about a year.
There is, and obviously I know this from experience, there is something great about as you get older and your parents get older, like living right next door to each other. I mean, it's something great about it. I wish I could buy the whole street that I live on and just turn it into a giant compound.
The Kendall complex.
I told Chris, if you have a big rockin' party or whatever, like, I'm not going to get mad. Just don't drive and invite me.
I'll bring the margarita machine.
Right. Like, I'll be the guy that talks to the cops. They love me.
Yeah.
So just let me go there. I'll, be the old weird guy that's too old to be there. Like in that scene in Varsity Blues, like the old guys in the leather jackets at the high school party, the kegger. Like, that's me, but chances are I've probably brought my bar over from my house.
Years ago, there used to be a guy in Broad Ripple, and he would hang out at like Brothers and Kilroy's, and we called him Phil Jackson because he looked just like the coach, Phil Jackson. And this guy had to be 60 years old, and he would sit there in like a button-up sweater type thing and slacks, and he would just sit, and at 2 a.m, he'd just be observing the children having a good time. And I often wonder what happened to that guy, where he's at now.
Did you think he was too old to be there?
Well, but it was kind of charming that it was like he's given it. I mean, it is kind of creepy, but also charming that you are old as dirt and you are still out here.
He just wants to be out there socializing.
See, now you understand, Casey, why I was so tough on Rob during his first round of midlife crisis time, wearing his hat backwards, going out to Brothers. Like, dude, you're not that much younger than I am.
You didn't want him to turn into the Phil Jackson lookalike.
Right. You're going to walk around with a skateboard like Steve Buscemi going, hello, kids.
Hey, we got a podcast that's out.
We do. It is hot. Downloads are coming fast and furious. The Degenerates Next Door. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, but I promise you, nobody has more fun on this thing than we do. We are people who gamble, right? We're not these dudes on television that probably pee sitting down and have more Botox than anybody, or these hot super chicks that no one's ever going to give you the time of day. We're two dudes, we're married, we got kids, and we ignore them for the sake of gambling.
Yeah.
And I think you folks will enjoy this upcoming weekend. Again, Rob's got a Tennessee play. You're in on the biggest game of the weekend, Texas and Michigan. I am looking at Colorado and Nebraska. I've got some Tennessee Vols and NC State. The Degenerate Special. Let's get nuts. We have a pro that joins us each week on the show, and he nailed his pick last week.
Yeah.
So download it right now. Anywhere you get your podcast, The Degenerates Next Door.
You were mentioning top 5 college football rankings right now. Could it be any more true? Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Alabama, Notre Dame.
I mean, those are some blue bloods, right?
Yeah.
And with these super conferences now, what we've seen in the non-conference is it's the haves and the have-nots, right? Yes, you're going to have some upsets along the way. Florida State has been beaten twice, but they weren't getting beat by MAC schools.
Right, that's true.
Right? The power conference schools are just beating the brakes off of everybody else.
And then tomorrow, the first, we go to 2 a week.
Yes.
The first NFL edition of the Degenerates Next Door. And I've got a little teaser, a little action, get people excited. I've got a big bet on that Colts game. I'm going to be fascinated by the Colts this year.
And if you can't wait for that long, I've got action in the kickoff game tomorrow night. Thursday night football, Kansas City, Baltimore. They're going to raise another banner in Kansas City.
So I did this thing this year. You know, I've always been a little bit more involved with college football than the NFL, and I decided this year I'm going to try. I'm trying. I'm going to put an effort in.
Right.
I'm going to pick a team, and that's going to be my team. And I picked the Baltimore Ravens.
So as an official Baltimore Ravens fan, when did you stop wiping your butt?
So I
because like every Ravens fan I know is some down on his luck, just degenerate, filthy. Oh, we're so much better off than having the Colts here, knowing damn well that city would take the Ravens and put them out on a Viking funeral in the middle of the ocean for that horseshoe to come back into Baltimore.
Two most interesting teams this year, Bears and Colts. It could be a heck of a ride, or it could be a train ride to hell. Either way.
Download it right now, The Degenerates Next Door. Our show starts at 3:06 this afternoon. We got a buttload of contests. We're going to have a lot of laughs. Tony Kennett's on. Christina from Hoagies and Hops. Let's go.
Thanks, Hammer. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here, letting you know that when you need plumbing help, call who I call, my friends at Hope Plumbing. During the month of September, Hope will take $100 off a $500 or more plumbing service. Sounds like a fantastic deal to me. So if you notice a water leak, a clogged drain, or have any other plumbing needs, big or small, Hope Plumbing can fix them all. Hope Plumbing, 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Shh. The silence you just heard? You could have used that space to reach your customers. Get your message in front of your customers. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, IMPD dealing with yet another one of their own getting arrested. Plus, Ryan Hedrick reports on where a man in the country illegally stabbed a girl in Indiana. And just a few days away from the start of the NFL season for the Colts. I'm Kirk Darling. That and more coming up from the Technology Recyclers Studios. After Fox News Radio, you're listening to 93 WYBC, WYBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
There's already a line of Trump supporters. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News in Pennsylvania. Before the former president has a town hall forum on Fox News Channel at 9 p.m. Eastern. Fox's Aisha Hasni's in Harrisburg.
This is another opportunity for the former president to create that split screen of him taking questions from not just voters, but from the press, while Vice President Kamala Harris continues to evade any more interviews or those off-the-cuff question and answer gaggle moments on the campaign trail.
And Vice President Harris, she'll be out campaigning today in New Hampshire.
She's proposing a tenfold increase in the tax deduction for starting a small business from $5,000 to $50,000. Harris will also propose cutting some regulations like needing excessive occupational licenses across state lines to expand. The vice president is adding to her economic plans. Last month, she proposed the first ever federal ban on price gouging on food and groceries. Republicans have called that Soviet-style price controls.
As Fox's Rich Edson in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, the Secret Service will be protecting both candidates as it responds to new whistleblower allegations, saying it's committed to learning from failures in the Trump assassination attempt back in July. Republican Senator Josh Hawley tells Fox he's been told some agents at that rally were from Homeland Security, not Secret Service, with no protection experience doing unrelated casework.
They were pulled off those cases, said, here, you're going to go guard the former president of the United States. Watch this webinar. Oops, it doesn't really work. Oh, that's all right. Go out into the field anyway.
We have news on the economy before Friday's August jobs and unemployment report. It shows companies put out fewer help wanted signs in July, posting fewer job openings, 7.7 million, down from 7.9 in June. However, there are still more jobs available than Americans unemployed. On Wall Street, a rebound from yesterday's big sell-off. The Dow's up over 200 points. The Nasdaq's gaining 70. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Another one. It's sunny and 72 downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Another IMPD officer from the Internal Affairs Department is facing charges. Kamal Bola was arrested Tuesday night in Avon by the Hendricks County Sheriff's Office. He faces 3 counts of child molestation involving a child under 14 and 1 count of public voyeurism. A girl stabbed in Lake County by a man who was in the U.S. illegally. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The girl was watching her sibling play baseball in Lowell last Sunday when all of a sudden Dimas Giannis attacked her.
Everybody wants to know why he chose her. Like, was she just because she was the only one on the bleacher? Was it because she was, maybe he thought she was vulnerable? No one knows.
Matt Ramian speaking with Wish TV. Giannis is from Honduras, and the police say he entered the U.S. through Texas. They arrested him on Tuesday. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Another decision made by the judge in the Delphi murders case. Richard Allen's defense had wanted to use theories about the murders being attached to Odinism in their defense strategy, but Judge Fran Gull says any theories related to Odinism will be inadmissible in the upcoming trial. A new study has found that it's cheaper to buy in Indianapolis than it is to rent. Joel Clausen, an Indy real estate agent, tells Wish TV just 5 years ago, you could rent a 2-bedroom house for about $700 a month.
And now some of those same places I'm looking at every day when I'm looking for investors and such, those rents are now around $1,200, $1,300. That's just within 5 years. It's almost doubled.
He says you can get a mortgage for cheaper than that. The Indianapolis Colts kick off their season at home on Sunday against the Houston Texans. Defensive coordinator Gus Bradley says they'll have a tough time with Houston's quarterback C.J. Stroud.
He's got great command of their offense, plays with really good poise. You know, he's done really well in his early stage of his career.
Kickoff at 1 o'clock on Sunday. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Sinus pressure, congestion, snoring, being unable to sleep, being unable to breathe. Yep, it's another sinus infection. You've Googled, watched videos, tried over-the-counter sprays, medications, and home remedies, but nothing ever works. There must be some kind of treatment that can help, right? Indianapolis Sinus Center understands how draining it can be when you try treatment after treatment without any relief. That's why they've been serving and treating the community for over 50 years. Indianapolis Sinus Center has performed thousands of procedures and helped thousands of patients find lasting relief they didn't know was possible. Patients like you. If you've had enough of sinus pain, pressure, and congestion, schedule a visit with Indianapolis Sinus Center today. Call 317-528-9650 and take the first step toward breathing easy. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650 or visit IndianapolisSinusCenter.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, September 4th. It's 5 minutes after 11. He is Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels, and we appreciate you listening this morning. So even after Jamie Knoll pled guilty last week to 27 felony charges as part of that ongoing corruption case, the former Clark County Sheriff could still receive taxpayer-funded retirement benefits.
Okay, so let's remind everybody, Jamie Knoll pled guilty. Now, whether the judge accepts the guilty plea or not, we don't know yet. That'll be determined at a later date. The judge wants to hear from the victims and their impact statements before making a decision. He likely will accept the plea. He pled guilty to, I believe, 27 felony counts. While I'm not a sentencing expert, multiple people I've talked to said they believe he'll do about 6 years in prison on actual time that he will serve. And for that, I mean, look, prison ain't a cakewalk, but look at the lifestyle the guy led and all the things he was able to do, and look at how long he got away with it for. And as Sean Bostic, who has covered this case for years down there in southern Indiana, laid out to us, this just deals basically with stuff in the past 5 years. Bostic claims there's 6 years, whatever. Bostic claims there's stuff going back 20 years on this guy that much of it is past the statute of limitations that he'll never receive any punishment for. So this guy being Noel, propped himself up for many years that we're aware of, and then allegedly other things long before that, and lived a lavish lifestyle far beyond his means, and will do 6 years in prison for it, and hurt countless people in the process. And now it comes out that he's likely going to get to keep not one, but 2 pensions, according to the Indiana Capitol Chronicle, both as a state trooper and as the Clark County Sheriff.
Right. So he is on the hook to pay back about $3.1 million in public funds. But you're right. A criminal conviction doesn't necessarily disqualify him from receiving retirement benefits. He's 53, by the way.
So
he could be getting out of jail and then getting his pension.
Sure. And so Capitol Chronicle has a new piece out. They go into great detail on this. We won't bore you with the intricate details of how all this works, but especially with the state police, well, I should say, especially with his pension as the Clark County Sheriff, because most of that is left up to local governments as it relates to county employees, which he would have been one. And it doesn't appear there's many safeguards down there in Clark County against this. And also his time as a state trooper. Now, there are more avenues likely to go after his pension as a state trooper than there are as a Clark County Sheriff. But regardless, he's still probably going to live a somewhat comfortable existence
after
once he gets out of prison, paid for by us, the taxpayers.
Yep, that is correct.
When he took time and time and time again from the taxpayers.
From the taxpayers. Yes. Yeah, and now we're going to pay for his retirement.
And I'll ask the question again, Casey.
Yeah, he won't hear you. He's in Italy, but go ahead and ask the question.
How is it possible that your best friend was living several $1 million above his means, and it wasn't like he had it all stuffed in a mattress, Casey. It wasn't like they found an underground vault where Noel had pallets of cash buried. He was spending the money. He was doing things that he had no logical explanation on how he would be doing them without ill-begotten gains. And yet Eric Holcomb, me know nothing. Me have no idea anything going on.
And now he can't do anything about it either. That will be up to the next administration. I often wonder if Jamie Noel ever shared like a cigar with Eric Holcomb. If he knew.
I'm sure he shared more than a cigar with Eric Holcomb. This is the ridiculousness of Holcomb trying to act like, I didn't know. They've been scrubbed. Internet is forever. There were photos of Eric Holcomb literally being so close to Noel and trusted by Noel that he's going to check on his daughter at college and posting about it on the internet. These guys were not casual friends. They were not just even political alliances. Jamie Noel got Eric Holcomb elected governor in the state of Indiana. He oversaw his campaign. These guys were super tight, and Noel was flaunting that he was doing all of these things. There's no way a rational person would not expect that Eric Holcomb would not have been aware, hey, something is amiss. Now, did he know to the extent? Don't know. But it is gross malfeasance by the media and the people who have access to Eric Holcomb that they are not getting to the bottom of exactly what this guy knew of. Because when Holcomb, when he was, where is he? Italy? Is that where he is?
Yeah.
No chance we just leave him over there. He does get to come back.
Return flight.
He said the other day, he never uttered whatever word to me. He tried to act like there was never
inappropriate,
untoward, whatever word he used. Everybody knew that Jamie Noel had a child out of wedlock with a relatively prominent person, government official. I knew about it. I knew about it living in Indianapolis, and I had talked to Jamie Noel 1 or 2 times in my entire life. I knew about it, Everybody else in Indiana politics and government, for the most part, was aware it was taking place. But Eric Holcomb didn't know. Noel's making all these child support payments. He's got the jets, the houses, the cars, the suits. And Holcomb's not like, how?
What's going on?
No reasonable person would he had to know something was amiss, and yet up to this point, the media has just given this guy a free pass. Jamie Noel has now pled guilty. He has told people, I did this. I took this money. I did this thing. It is totally in the confines of fair game and actually the obligation of our media to find out how the governor is that stupid. Holcomb is apparently saying he's that stupid.
That he had no idea.
That he had no idea. So now the obligation of the media, if you're going to take Holcomb at his word, is find out how a guy is that stupid, and if a guy is that poor a judgment, what else has he been that stupid or had that poor a judgment on?
Okay, let's talk about our other favorite topic. That is the IEDC. They announced they're going to have a new office in Taiwan with a semiconductor focus.
Oh my gosh, I hate
So are they
these
more
people
interested?
so much.
Are they more interested in chasing global headlines than addressing the real needs of Hoosiers? Isn't that their entire goal?
Well, Micah Beckwith, who will be the lieutenant governor this time next year, said it best in that lieutenant governor's debate. They're a shadow government agency. They are an entity that skirts legally through permission by the Indiana General Assembly the rules and regulations that government agencies have to play by in terms of accountability and transparency. And they do this deliberately so that we, the taxpayers, can't hold them accountable when Eric Holcomb and the state government, because let's face it, Holcomb oversees the IEDC. Listen, he is the de facto head of the IEDC.
Yes.
They're not doing anything that doesn't run through him. Can give away millions upon millions of dollars of our hard-earned money. Now, they'll tell you there's no money to help you with property taxes. None with that, nothing for that whatsoever. But they've got hundreds of millions of dollars without any accountability. There's been multiple articles written about this by journalists who have really tried to, and they're like,
to follow the money?
Like, we're pros and we can't even do this. It's so hard to get information. They know some of them have failed. They certainly know some of them have failed. But the accounting on it is almost impossible. And that is done deliberately so that Holcomb can hang out and be a cool guy and a great guy with these rich, uber powerful mega corporations who, an elitist like Holcomb, that's how he judges his success. And don't take my Micah said it, right? I mean, it's the Micah Braun team. I assume if Micah said it, Braun feels the same way, that they're a shadow government agency. Now, if Braun feels different, he has not corrected that statement. At no point has Braun come out and said, I think the IEDC is great. So one would assume, since Micah said that publicly in a debate and Braun has not corrected that Braun believes the same. So hopefully next year, Micah and Braun have an obligation to gut, not just shrink, but gut the Indiana Economic Development Corporation.
So I'm wondering if this bold vision, is this just a distraction from the fact that many Indiana communities are struggling? And by the way, an entire delegation is going to Taiwan, led by the state's Secretary of Commerce.
What has all of this gotten us? I will continue to ask, what has all of this economic development gotten us? What is the goal of it? Because if the goal is to help the people here, our tax burden, the amount of money that we are asked to shell out every single year, has never been greater. So if that's not the goal, then what is the goal of the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, and what are they doing? Like, let's go back to last week where we had those people emailing about what's going on in Noblesville.
Right.
And these people who were said, hey, I was a lifer and I loved living there and it was a place I grew up, or I raised my family, and I simply couldn't afford, to do it anymore. We're hearing similar stories about people now in Lebanon with the Leap District and the things that are going on out there, and saying, hey, I was raised in the corn, right? Now, I loved living there and now I got to get out of here. And look, I'm not saying the great replacement theory is real. What I'm simply saying is, when what do you call it? When people have lived in communities and made communities awesome places to live their whole life, and they feel they can no longer live there, whether financially or otherwise, and they leave and new people come in, what do you call that? What do you call what's happening to those people? Replaced.
Yeah.
If someone's leaving and someone else is coming in their place, that is a replace. You can call whatever you want, but you look at the makeup of this state, you look at the makeup of the government, you look at the way our money is being spent, and then you look at things that there is supposedly no money for, but yet the things that we allocate, I mean, they just went back and got more money from the Indiana Economic Development Corporation to fund these future endeavors that will be poorly accounted for and not transparent. This has got to change. This is a horrible way to govern. Take away the players in the game. If I take away my utter disdain for Eric Holcomb, the way the Indiana Economic Development Corporation operates is a horrible way to govern. It's a horrible way to take money from people, their hard-earned money, and then you spend it on something, and you can't see any tangible benefit from it in terms of how the people are being asked to pay and what they're being asked to pay. And then when you try to get information on it, they stonewall you at every turn. This is not the way government should be working.
So they're going to have this event. It's actually happening right now for the next couple days. And the event is happening in Taiwan. And then they're bringing the same expo to Indiana next year. And they want record attendance next year. And one of the main focuses of the event is green manufacturing.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they also say they want to curtail the unstoppable wave of AI.
Well, remember when they had that little, I can't say that on the air, I'll get in big trouble. Remember when they had that little back patting party? I can say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can say.
The Thankathon?
Do you know what I was maybe going to say? Yeah.
Don't say that.
Yeah. Up in, where is that? Is that Lafayette, where Young went and Spendingburg? And they had
ribbon cutting and the whole thing, yeah.
And then it came out, it's all this, I think it was a Korean company. Oh, they're investing ever many billions of dollars. And then the hundreds of millions of dollars that are being fronted by Indiana taxpayers to bring this company there. That's always like paragraph number 9 in the story, right? Oh, this is incredible. This company is coming here with these jobs. So what you're doing is you're taking our money as citizens of the state of Indiana. You're taking it from us. You're giving it to a foreign corporation, right? Very important. Foreign corporation in a community that is not actually in the area where I live. So I don't see any benefit out of it whatsoever. And then this foreign corporation is bringing in foreign workers, both foreign in terms of not from the state of Indiana and also not from this country. And we're paying for that, Casey. That doesn't seem like a good use of my money or your money. That's not a road, a bridge, a sidewalk, a water line.
And so if you want to go full circle with that, Rob, it sounds like you're paying to replace yourself.
See, I'm so glad you said it, because I'd get in big trouble if I said that. But you're immune from prosecution by upper management in this building.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. Coming up, we're going to talk about Taylor Swift, Rush Hour, and marijuana. This could be one of the most consequential votes of our lifetime.
Who will be our next governor?
U.S. Senator.
Our next president. Who will represent us in the General Assembly?
You have a voice with your one vote.
Unhappy with the current state of affairs? You can do something about it.
Voting is one of our most important rights as Americans.
It's how you can stand up for your beliefs,
your values,
and for future generations. A reminder to make your vote count on November 5th.
November 5th.
November 5th.
From WIBC
and Urban One.
Hey guys, it's Wednesday. That means Sunday's going to be here before you know it. And this Sunday, if you're looking for a new church home or a first church home, or maybe you're just feeling called to something a little different, check out Life Church. We made the decision to start attending Life Church a couple years ago, and what an incredible impact it's had on my life, on my family's life. They're warm, they're welcoming, they treat you like so much more than just a number. You are an individual. You are a name. You are special at Life Church. Campuses all across central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, plus awesome online services. Learn more about everything at lifechurchin.com.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life downright miserable. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent. where we are committed to eliminating your nasal breathing problems with simple in-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty, which requires no surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. At Advent, we understand your inability to breathe freely limits your quality of life. And that's why we continue to pioneer the most advanced in-office procedures that have made our practice a global destination for those seeking to live their highest quality of life. Visit AdventKnows.com to see if you're a candidate for the balloon sinuplasty procedure. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
The best tailgates before the Colts games are back, presented by Real Alternatives. Join us at the tailgate lot at McCarty and Church Street at 10 a.m. before the Colts-Texans game. Admission is free. Ice-cold Bud Light for purchase, Jack Daniels and food trucks. Mingle with the ladies from Twin Peaks and personalities from our station. Sign up to win tickets and upgrades for the game and $100 in Colts cash from Bud Light. No purchase necessary, but you must be present to win. Tailgate with us starting at 10 a.m. at McCarty and Church Street, presented by Real Alternatives.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Have you seen the new NFL promo that's out?
Nope, sure haven't, and I'll give you two guesses why. First two don't count.
Because you don't watch TV?
Casey, what story are we about to talk about?
Because you don't care about Taylor Swift?
Thank you.
But you wouldn't know that she was in it unless you've seen the promo.
No,
so
because the second it's leaked out, that was all anybody would say. Oh my gosh, Hall of Fame linebacker Taylor Swift is the most prominent person in the NFL promo.
Yeah, so she was in the promo. I watched it. I counted 4 times. That's more than anybody else. Any other football player is actually featured in the National Football League promo.
So before we get into our next topic, let's talk about this for a second, right? That is highly unusual that a woman whose core audience is not anywhere in the demo of what we normally associate with the National Football League. Mm-hmm. And she has never played football. She's not some great football mind.
Yeah.
She's not an executive. She's not a team owner. She's not a broadcaster. She has nothing to do with the National Football League. And her core audience is not in the target of what you would normally associate with the National Football League, that she is the most prominent person featured in an NFL opener to the season promo. That is odd, right?
Yeah, well, it's the NFL trying to expand their base. That's what that is.
Okay, so let's get to the story, right? That this thing is leaked out. Now, apparently they're both, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, are denying this, but it was some document that was supposedly supposed to be some sort of blueprint about how Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were going to break up on a specific day and how they were going to sell this to everyone and how it was all going to go down. Now, they both, I guess, denied it.
Yep, they said it was false and it was fabricated.
Okay, but here's the takeaway from me on this. Her life is so fabricated.
Right.
Or scripted or whatever you want to put out, whatever word you want to use to describe it. It's so manufactured. Her life is so manufactured
that it's believable.
It is totally believable. Because here's the thing, and we were talking about this during the break. She's in her mid-30s. She's a billionaire. She's a beautiful person. And she cannot keep a relationship. A person who has everything, literally everything going for them, and has had everything going for them for 15 years or more, and she cannot maintain a stable relationship.
So the thing with these two, it was always reported that he was interested in her first.
Right. So he goes on some, as I recall, he goes on some sports show and either randomly gets asked about it or for some reason just starts gushing about what a Taylor Swift fan he is. Okay, that's weird. You're a grown-ass man, an NFL player in your mid-30s, and you're gushing about Taylor Swift like you're really into songs about how some man's always done me wrong.
Was he into her music or was he into her looks?
Well, but the point is, that's weird. That's weird that would be a focus of a conversation with a player in the National Football League. It wasn't like, how are you going to match up against, Buffalo's defense this week? Or tell us about catching balls from Patrick Mahomes. Like, why would that even be a point of conversation with a tight end in the National Football League? So he comes out and says this, and then instantaneously, again, let me repeat myself. She's in her early mid-30s. She's gorgeous. She's a billionaire. She's obviously one of the most, if not the most famous people in the whole world. And she's like, sign me up for that goon NFL tight end? Really?
Well, maybe she saw an opportunity just like the NFL did. It's
I mean, I'm trying to lay this out as I remember it happening in real time. And if I've missed you're way more into pop culture and stuff than I am. If I've missed a step there, you correct me on that.
Well, I know that they kept it secret for a lot longer than people were aware of. Or maybe they were working out the details of their contract. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that she would make someone she's dating, especially on this grand scale, public level that they have, that she makes them sign some sort of NDA agreement.
When things happen and everybody gets out okay, it does give you pause, right? So think about from the NFL's perspective. They bring her in and instantaneously...
Oh, they welcomed her quick, didn't they?
Of course. Well, you have all these women who would never watch an NFL game who are now... Not only are they interested in the NFL, they're not really interested in the NFL, but I mean, they're interested in her, so they're watching the NFL. But she's somehow magically teamed up with the marquee team in the National Football League. And so she gets exposed to all these new people. The NFL makes her the center point of these games where they're showing her as much as the action on the... I mean, it was nauseating before I had to stop watching Chiefs games. Now, they cut it out because they started getting such backlash from their core demo, which is men 25 to 54. They started getting such backlash that they had to scale it back. But I had to stop watching Chiefs games for a while. So the NFL gets all these women to start watching who otherwise wouldn't watch. She gets all this free publicity that she otherwise wouldn't have gotten. And he was a very good player and it was a quasi Hall of Fame player anyway. But he's making gobs of money doing Pfizer endorsements and commercials. And now he's got a $100 million deal with this podcast. It's kind of convenient how everybody got out okay out of this, how it all gelled together perfectly.
Right.
Where everybody kind of got out okay and got huge benefit out of this relationship.
Did it all gel perfectly because they were under contract?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying it's interesting to me. Who knows? Maybe they really were in love and maybe man number 37 for her in her mind was going to be the one that finally did the trick, and maybe they'll be living happily ever after.
And maybe by the end of September, they'll find that they're not so much in love anymore.
I don't know. I think the relationship could be totally legit. And maybe, again, I mean, look at some of the men. Wasn't she with John Mayer for a while?
Was she with him?
Is that right?
Wasn't everybody out there? I mean, from the reports you hear. So they're saying that the contract is fake.
It very well could be.
You know what? Here's the other interesting thing about her is one day you'll hear about how, they're about to get engaged and he's the one and they're going to have babies. And then the next week, there is this contract that they're just obligated to fake it.
And I don't.
Which is it?
Well, you hear this from, and Taylor Swift, I think look, it's an industry, right? The people around her, it's a Taylor Swift industry.
She does employ a lot of people.
She does, but what I'm saying is that like the apparatus around her, she doesn't ever really even her open-ups are manufactured, right? I mean, everything about her is manufactured. But you do hear this from a lot of celebrities who have been at that tippy top level, like a Britney Spears is a great example. I know this is going to sound weird, and it was a very short period of time, but like an MC Hammer is an example of this. Obviously, didn't have near the sustaining power of Taylor Swift, et cetera. But you hear about the lonely existence of being those people because your whole life becomes an operation. It becomes people around you who are more interested in the financial industry that you're churning rather than you as a human being. And then you kind of get, when you hear these people talk, you get consumed by that too, because your self-worth becomes that thing. And again, I'm sorry, to be a very, very attractive woman with infinite money and the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want, to be in your mid-30s and just go from one crisis relationship after another, that's not a normal thing. And to never be able to separate yourself from that to have a better result, that's a major, major red flag. And you see this with these not that she was like a child star, but she was very, very young when she became famous. You don't ever learn a normal existence. You don't learn how to normal people. And on some one end, maybe you do feel kind of bad for her.
It'll be interesting to see what the chemistry's like up in the, VIP room with Brittany Mahomes. Is that her name?
That's right. She's a Trump person.
Right, supporting Donald Trump. So does that mean they're not going to be friends anymore? Will that play into the maybe breakup, the fake breakup?
Oh, that would be great.
I mean, is this all part of it?
Oh, that would be excellent. I didn't even think maybe they'll blame Trump. That's what they're going to do. They'll blame Trump and Brittany Mahomes.
Right. They're going to blame. Of course they will.
And you watch. It'll be right before the election, and they'll tell
Taylor's heart is broken because of Donald Trump.
And they'll tell all those Swiftie people, you got to go vote for Kamala.
There it is. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're all over. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. There's just 2 months until Election Day. Former President Trump will be in Pennsylvania for a town hall event with Fox News tonight. Vice President Kamala Harris will be in New Hampshire, where she'll outline proposed tax deductions for small business startups. A man from Honduras attacked a girl with a knife at a baseball game in Northwest Indiana on Sunday. Matt Ramian was coaching third base at the game when it happened.
Everybody wants to know why he chose her. Like, was she just because she was the only one on the bleacher? Was it because she was he thought she was vulnerable? No one knows.
Dimas Yanis was arrested Tuesday. Police say he entered the country illegally through Texas. The president of the Indiana Fever is stepping down. Allison Barber will be stepping aside at the end of the season after 6 years leading the front office for the Fever. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WYBC.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
If you used to hear a whole lot of this,
but now you can barely hear this. You need to check out RelayIndiana.com and CapTel, the caption telephone. CapTel allows you to get your groove back when using the telephone. It uses voice recognition technology so you can read on a bright screen what the other caller is saying. Go to RelayIndiana.com and add clarity back into your conversations with CapTel, the caption telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
It's not too late to get the backyard of your dreams this year. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
You know it's fall when Dairy Queen comes out and they introduce their fall blizzard menu. Big deal. It's a BOGO thing. It's going on September 9th through the 22nd. You have to download the app. You know what? That's the thing now. You got to download the app to get the deal. I was at the Taco Bell drive-thru the other day, and they asked, did you order your food on the app? No. And then an actual human came on.
What?
So what can I,
What store was that?
Taco Bell. Yeah.
Oh, so like you went to the drive-thru and instead of Fran coming on saying, welcome to Taco Bell, how may I take your order?
Right. It was, a recording.
Yeah.
Did you order your food on the Taco Bell app? No.
I wonder what percentage of people now order, because you can order food in advance, is that right?
And then show up and
it'll just be sitting there for you?
I don't know how it works. I haven't done it. But yeah, you can order your food in advance on the app and then you get through the drive-thru and boom, there it is.
Because I always see...
I don't know.
These things like download our app and you get a free sandwich or whatever. I still roll into these places with paper coupons and they look at me like, what is wrong with you?
Well, Dairy Queen right now until September 22nd with the app, you have to download the app.
Oh, the app.
They're doing the BOGO, buy one Blizzard, get one free.
Oh. When is it through when?
September 22nd.
Have you seen the price of a Blizzard recently?
No.
Oh, my gosh. Like, I don't know if they're making them with gold or what they're doing, but you can buy an entire pint of ice cream from the store for what it costs to get a Blizzard now at Dairy Queen.
So they have some new fall flavors. Pumpkin pie Blizzard treat. That sounds delicious.
Have you had that? They've done that before.
No, but I like the pumpkin pie.
Well, they used to have a little whipped cream they'd put on top of it, but I don't know how that works now because they got to do the thing where they turn the thing upside
down with the whipped cream plop out.
I don't know. That's the question.
This is made with real pumpkin pie pieces.
Yeah.
Okay. They also have French silk pie, caramel Java chip Blizzard, Oreo fudge, salted caramel. But speaking of pumpkin, Finance Buzz is offering $1,000 to any candidate, to the ideal candidate and lucky applicant, to taste and rank pumpkin-themed foods for fall.
No.
Yeah. And it's just a job.
So, you're like, I have to eat a pumpkin flavored cookie.
Yep.
I have to eat a pumpkin flavored oatmeal.
You would be a pumpkin spice pundit.
I thought we did a story a few weeks ago. We were moving out of the pumpkin game.
That's
society.
Pumpkin spice. Like the pumpkin spice latte is moving out, and pumpkin pie is moving in.
Huh.
What's the difference?
I don't know. I don't have
Less
any
spice?
idea. I don't know.
It's
have no
not
idea.
quite as spicy, is it?
By the way, I did something yesterday. You'll be very proud of me.
What did you
I
do?
finally ate at a Costco.
They just raised their rates, by the way. That took effect September 1st.
Kevin.
But go ahead. What did you eat?
How was the dog? Did you have a hot dog?
This went totally against my diet, but I had to go get diapers and we were here yesterday late. And so I was like, man, I got to eat something. I just don't.
Did you do the hot dog?
I got the hot dog.
How many?
One.
How many could you do in 10 minutes, though?
Well, those are giant hot dogs. Those are
yeah,
not
it's
the
like
little,
a foot long, isn't it?
Well, had I known it was that big, I would have just got the hot dog. Yeah. But I got a piece of pizza, too. And they do have a heck of a deal there at the Costco. It's a hot dog and a soda for $1.50. And that's
really
a big
good.
hot dog.
Yeah. That's really
and
good.
now that I know how big the hot dog is.
You're going to go back.
Well, I mean, it's not with isn't it wild how when you don't eat right after you got in the habit of eating right,
food tastes funny?
Well, yeah. I mean, you feel worse about yourself. Yeah. But so I got the piece of pizza, pepperoni pizza, and a hot dog and a drink, and it was like $3.50.
It's a good deal.
That's a really good deal.
The worst thing is when you go to the grocery store and you're hungry, because then you just want to buy everything. Did you notice? Well, you already had your membership. But the price went up September 1st. And do you have your picture on your membership card?
No, it's just a card. Some lady.
And they haven't said anything to you? Because that's also the new thing, that you've got to have your picture, your face on the membership card. So I'm surprised that they haven't stopped you from doing that.
How long do we have, Kevin?
We have about a minute.
Oh, I don't have enough time. I got a really mean hate mail from a Taylor Swift fan. We'll save that for tomorrow.
Oh, no.
I was going to have you keep
somebody defending.
Well, yes.
You got a Swiftie up there.
She's going to tell me what all the songs are about.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a grown-ass person and you're still buying Taylor Swift's bull crap, I feel sorry for you, because that's what it is. It's just been this. You got a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Has it not been the same stuff for 15 years?
Yeah.
I was in a car and with a guy, and he had gray hair, and it was blowing in the breeze.
Well, you could say she's evolved a little, because she started out in country music and then transitioned over to pop.
He'd screwed over 20 women before me. I thought it was going to be different. Then I made the same bad choices I made before. Now I'm mad. Now I'm sicking 30 million lunatics on this guy to ruin his life.
Yeah. You feel so bad for
Isn't
her.
that every Taylor Swift song?
She can wipe her tears with $100 bills.
I'm going to read that hate mail tomorrow. Signed, a listener who's a Swiftie.
Okay. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Tonight on the Tony Kinnacast, legal fights, Venezuelan gangs, the Nashville school shooter Tranifesto, and the race for the control of the U.S. Senate. If you thought September was going to be calmer than August, you're nuts. Tune in at 7 p.m. right here at the live streams on the Daily Signals, X, and YouTube, and the podcast anytime.
Sinus pain. You know it all too well. It's constant. It's frustrating. The pressure, the headaches, the snoring, the constant clogged feeling. You're tired of feeling like this, but you've tried nasal sprays, over-the-counter medicines, even home remedies. No matter what you try, nothing gives you lasting sinus relief. You're tired of missing out and feeling miserable. There is something you can do. Something different. Indianapolis Sinus Center. The physicians at Indianapolis Sinus Center have been serving the community with proven treatments for over 50 years. They know what you're going through, and they're standing by ready to offer you the best treatments to provide long-term relief. Breathe better. You don't have to keep suffering from sinus pain. Call Indianapolis Sinus Center today at 317-528-9650 and take the first step toward relief. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650, or go to IndianapolisSinusCenter.com.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi, my daughter invited her entire class to her birthday party. Can my Wi-Fi handle it?
Oh, well, at Xfinity, our latest gateways have tri-band Wi-Fi technology, letting you connect hundreds of devices at once.
No way. So if all the kids are watching stuff on their phones, well, their parents are sharing videos online.
Yep, go ahead and watch videos. They can all do their thing and party their way. No problem.
Oh, we are gonna need a bigger cake.
Now through September 22nd, get fast, reliable, 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $30 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And get Wi-Fi equipment included. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Xfinity. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless bill and an auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Currently $71 a month. Actual speeds vary.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
If you've ever put off dealing with plumbing problems, you don't have to live that way. Maybe you tried to fix a leaky faucet yourself, or you're wishing that slow drain is going to magically start flowing again. Well, it's not. Stop putting things off and call Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. They'll give you honest advice at a fair price, and they leave your home even better than they found it. That's ldsmithplumbing.com. And tell them your second favorite plumber in the whole world, Denny Smith, sent you. ldsmithplumbing.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Tailgate this Sunday from 10 to 1 at the parking lot at McCarty and Church Street before the Colts-Texans game. Presented by Real Alternatives, Jack Daniels, and Twin Peaks. Register to win a ticket upgrade or tickets to the game and $100 in Colts cash from Bud Light. No purchase necessary.
Don't let it slide. I'm a working man in my prime. Cleaning windows.
I'm sure you've thought about this before. Like, is your phone listening to you?
Oh, totally.
Rob, it's Kendall and Casey, by the way. Well, a new article came out, and it was a leak, actually, by Cox Media Group that says, yeah, your phone actually is listening to you. They say they have this active listening software. It uses AI to collect and analyze real-time intent data, and it's from listening to what you say through your phone, your laptop, or your home assistant microphone, which would be Alexa.
Yeah, I mean, think how many times has this happened to you where you'll mention some product, like you and your husband are having a conversation or whatever, and then within an hour, there's some ad for that on one of the social media sites.
That gets fed to you. But I've noticed that it's gone beyond just a product, and it is locations as well. And I thought at first when I was out in Baltimore that it was because of geofencing or whatever.
Right.
But now that I'm back in Indianapolis, I still get fed Baltimore stuff all the time.
Creepy.
And I feel like it's my phone listening to me,
totally
hearing somebody saying, how's she like in Baltimore? And all of a sudden I get tourism and just different sightseeing things. Not that there's a lot of those in Baltimore.
Yeah, totally. Your phone is listening to you. You're being stalked at all times. I have long pondered going back to the flip phone because what do I really need a smartphone for?
You don't use it for GPS or anything like that?
Well, that's the only thing is like I did that party on Sunday and it was really nice to just be able to put the thing in my phone and be like, drive me there.
Right.
Type of thing.
And all you had to do was follow the blue line.
Did you ever do that? Did you ever print out directions on MapQuest back in the day?
Oh, yeah. We used to do that all the time. Take like 14 pages to get you just a couple miles.
And then you'd miss some sort of turn on some long-term trip or long-distance trip. And then you'd be totally screwed because your directions were based on you hitting every single turn.
My favorite thing about the GPS now is not only will it get you there if you don't know where the place is located, but you can quickly determine how long it'll take you to get there and then kind of work backwards to figure out what time you need to be ready and walking out the door.
So somebody like Hammer is totally fine with being spied on all the time. Like he said if he could make money, he would let a camera just basically follow him around.
He's like, look at me.
Yeah, he has said that for years, that if someone would give him money, basically, that he would let a camera in the bathroom, everything. He doesn't, like, if you want to watch it, go ahead.
Well, I can tell you from somebody who worked in television for quite a while, that's the last thing I ever want. Like, there was a time where I didn't even want the Ring doorbell or any security cameras around the house because I was just sick of being in front of cameras all the time. Because the camera will pick up everything, all your body language. You can't fake like being sick in front of a camera. Just because, on the radio, you can fake a smile.
Sure.
But on camera, you can't slouch. You can't roll your eye. You can't I'm dragging today because it sees everything.
Yeah, you TV people are the worst.
Yeah, and after doing that for a living, I was like, no cameras at home. No Ring doorbell. Just no, I don't want to be on camera anymore.
Yeah.
But this AI stuff, this software, it came from Cox Media Group, which is...
Did you ever work for them?
A radio group. No, I did not. And I believe the closest property they own to us is in Dayton.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Your hometown.
Yeah, no chance. Okay, something else I wanted to bring to your attention Instagram announced that they're adding a comment section to its stories feature.
Wait. You can't. Oh, are these? Oh, the stories are different from the posts.
Yeah, I guess which are different from the reels, but eventually it all turns into the same stuff.
I have an Instagram. I think at Rob M. Kendall is my name.
Yeah.
Is that what they call it on Instagram? Your name?
Your name, your handle. Well, the stories is the little circle up on top.
Oh, yeah.
That's different than the post. And you could comment before, but not everybody would see it.
Sure.
Well, now if you comment on somebody's stories, it's public for everyone to know.
Okay, can we talk about the stories people for a second?
Yeah.
Like the people who post 93 stories a day. Why do people do that?
I believe they would call that attention-seeking behavior.
Well, we've had this conversation before that if you are a well-assembled human being, because I will see this on the Instagram, and I don't notice people's appearances anymore.
Of course not.
But people who appear to be well-assembled persons.
They're really big fans of stories.
They just post and post and post and post and post. And it's like, it sort of is negating the perception you're giving people, which is, look at my well-assemblage, don't you wish you were me, when I don't need to know everything you did all day. Like, if you're trying to create the fantasy world, I don't need to know that you had tacos for dinner, right? I just, show.
You need to leave a little for the imagination.
Right, just like 3 posts a day or 2 posts a day or whatever.
Oversharing just a bit.
If you need me to see your life that bad, then I don't want to know about your life, probably.
I came across a post from somebody on Instagram over the weekend, and she's a very, very attractive, used to be a famous actress and has since left Hollywood.
Do you know this person?
I do.
Oh.
And she said, I've been off of social media for a week, and I feel so rested and rejuvenated and mentally fit. And I thought, I didn't realize she had left social media for a week. So had she not announced that she was back, I probably wouldn't have noticed she was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It's not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. You can just come and go.
She was announcing her arrival.
Well, that's the thing. It's the look at me society, and so many people are in the look at me society.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just it takes away from the perception you're trying to give people if you need people to see everything that you do. Like if you were a well-assembled person, because I have somebody that I am. What is it on Facebook? It's friends on Facebook, and all day, this well-assembled, it appears, modern medicine enhanced individual will post about the life that they're living.
Yeah.
And they do some cool things. Don't know how they get to these places.
Sure.
Don't know if they have a sponsor or what.
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
But it's like, okay, if you just posted now I'm at the top of this major metropolitan city's tallest building. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But when it's like, now I'm in my car, now I'm this, now I'm that.
Now I'm making a casserole.
Yeah, you kind of seem like you really just need the attention.
Yeah, the validation.
And now I'm not nearly as impressed. Hey, by the way.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something positive that's going on in my life?
Yes,
I mean, we got
please
just
do.
a minute and a half here left or so, but I wanted to tell you this. So there were these people who lived behind me. You've been to my house before. I live on a town street.
Yeah.
It's by no means an upscale neighborhood, but most of the houses are brick.
Yeah.
They're somewhat well put together. It's not
they're kept nicely.
Right. I mean, it's not Geist Reservoir, but it's also not Mars Hill. It's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
And there was this house behind me. And it's a brick house. It's a nice house. But the people who were there were like hillbilly white trash central. Like you could hear them screaming at each other all the time. They built this giant dog pen in the backyard, like had a wood frame with, I don't know, it was chicken wire or what it was. They would shoot. They were the people that would 9 days after 4th of July be shooting off fireworks. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, those people have been really quiet.
Right.
Like there's this encased in patio on the back of this house. And many mornings when I would get up to let Bruce out or whatever, you could hear them yelling at each other. This was Jerry Springer Central.
Okay.
And I was thinking, these people have been relatively quiet lately. I haven't heard the lunatic dogs. I haven't heard them screaming at each other. And then I see a sign when we were going for a walk the other night that says house for rent. So I was like, I wonder what house that is because it's very near me, the address.
Yeah.
And we went and it was that house.
Oh, they left.
The dog pen was gone.
Oh.
The people are gone. And so my wife and I are always nervous when we see house for rent in a residential area because a lot of times you don't get sometimes the
upkeep isn't there.
Shall we say the people who
they don't have pride in
home
ownership.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was like, it doesn't even matter to me now. Those people are gone.
That must have been quite a cleanup.
Like, unless El Chapo moves in behind me, like those people are, and the dog pen was gone.
It'll be an improvement.
Oh, it was great.
You're so excited about this.
Freaking awesome. They're out of here. They're out of here.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say they sold their house for a whole lot of money, and I was, no, that will affect you.
No, it's a rental.
Okay.
I guess.
Well, I hope the new neighbors are an upgrade for you.
I'm going to call today and find out how much that house is renting for.
Yeah.
Because I bet it's a pretty penny.
You going to act like you want to rent it?
No, I'm just going to ask, how much is the house for rent?
See what they say.
Yeah, we're out of here.
All right. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Kevin. Thank you for listening today. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Casey, you're young, you're beautiful, you're talented. There's no way you're within 5 years of filing for Social Security.
Keep going with the young and beautiful and talented. What else you got?
But someday you will be. And get this, 96% of Americans, 96%, forfeit an average of $111,000 in Social Security income. And it's all because they file for their benefits at the wrong time.
Yeah, learn how you could avoid this with a free customized Social Security analysis. It's from Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy.
If you've saved more than $200,000 for retirement and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-932-9912.
You know, for some people, filing for Social Security early could result in more net income in retirement. This free analysis pinpoints exactly how you could get the most income from Social Security. Call Bill Demery today, 317-932-9912, 317-932-9912.
Got several different cable news outlets and their sources reporting that home prices are actually expected to decline into 2025. And so right now you want to maximize your home sales price before this downturn with the only agent proven to sell for top dollar. That's Mark Deedle. Mitch from Martinsville's house is getting a little too big for him. He wanted to downsize. Heard about Mark on our radio show. He was able to get multiple offers within 48 hours and closed in 30 days.
And what separates Mark Deedle from the competition is the guarantee. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. That's what makes Mark Deedle the best. Call him today, 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232, or go to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdeedle.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Is your pet a digging enthusiast, an escape artist, or a counter surfer? Invisible Fence brand has you covered. For the wannabe landscaper, we've got a solution to keep them active but not destructive. For the escape artist, our personalized pet fences keep them safe and sound at home. Counter surfer? No problem. We know how to keep cheese thieves at bay. Invisible Fence brand. Tailor-made solutions for your pet, your yard, and your needs. Visit invisiblefence.com today.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
She was taken from me when I was a freshman in high school.
Friday, he'll speak at the Fraternal Order of Police's fall meeting.
It was through some mathematical help.
On behalf of Ricky and his family.
Officers say the bus and a car.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
An Indianapolis cop is booked and held. We've got a clear sky right now. 69 degrees in the Circle City. Today's high, 86. I'm John Herrick.
And I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at noon. Sex crimes against children is why an Indianapolis cop was arrested on Tuesday. Kamal Bolo, who works in internal affairs, faces 3 counts of child molesting and public voyeurism. He was taken into custody in Avon by the Hendricks County Sheriff's Office. This arrest is the second time an Indy Metro cop has been charged with sex crimes against kids in recent weeks. Javed Richards was arrested earlier this month in a child exploitation case. IMPD is commenting, and Bailey wants Bola fired.
Someone was shot this morning along East Washington Street in Indianapolis. Police aren't saying much about that other than the person who was shot is in bad shape, and they are investigating. Justice achieved over 30 years later. Donnie Burgess reports on the case of Carmen Van Huss.
She was taken from me when I was a freshman in high school.
Jimmy Van Huss Tuesday afternoon. He's the brother of 19-year-old Carmen Van Huss, who was raped and stabbed to death in her apartment in 1993. Police have charged 52-year-old Dana Shepard with her murder.
The first charge is murder, is a knowing murder. The second charge is a felony murder charge, meaning that a felony took place during the course of the murder. And the third charge is rape, which is a Class A felony.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears. Shepard now lives in Missouri, but police say he lived at the same complex in Indianapolis in 93, and his DNA matches blood found at the crime scene. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Odinism cannot be used as a defense in the Delphi murders case. That was the ruling Tuesday. Prosecutors say Richard Allen murdered Abby Williams and Libby German about 7 years ago. The prosecution says the defense has relied on speculation and hearsay and has not produced specific evidence tying a third party to the killings. Jury selection is scheduled to start on October 14th.
A presidential debate scheduled for next Tuesday in Philadelphia, where Donald Trump and Kamala Harris will face each other. Tonight, Trump will participate in a town hall meeting on Fox News Channel.
Friday, he'll speak at the Fraternal Order of Police's fall meeting in North Carolina and then on to Wisconsin this weekend. States with tight polling that reflect the several key battlegrounds that will decide this election. The polling going into that debate shows a tight-locked race. That recent ABC poll shows that Kamala Harris registered no convention bounce for her, just as it said there was no Republican convention bounce in July for Trump. It says that Harris is up about 4 percentage points among registered voters. Harris is campaigning tomorrow in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
That's Fox's Rich Edson reporting. You'll be able to hear that debate next Tuesday right here on 93 WIBC.
She's leaving at the end of the season. That's what the Indiana Fever are saying about their team president, Allison Barber. This news comes during an exciting time for the organization.
Because for the first time in nearly a decade, the Fever are heading to the WNBA playoffs. With more on that, here's Kurt Darling.
It was through some mathematical help. The Chicago Sky lost to the Las Vegas Aces, and the Atlanta Dream lost to the Phoenix Mercury Tuesday night. Both those losses happening in tandem has now ensured the Fever of a playoff spot. Head coach Christy Sides says though they're in, they're not slowing down.
We're shooting the ball pretty well, and we just want to make sure that we keep doing that by getting reps.
The Fever have not been in the playoffs since 2016. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Lucky to be alive. That's how the San Francisco 49ers described their first-round draft pick, Ricky Pearsall, after he was shot by a teenager last weekend who tried to rob him for his Rolex watch. San Francisco's head coach, John Lynch, says,
on behalf of Ricky and his family, I talked with Ricky this morning. He just wants to express, and the team wants to express, our gratitude to a variety of people. Number one, the San Francisco Police Department. They were incredible in their response. They were incredible at the hospital.
The 17-year-old boy who shot Pearsall's charged with attempted murder. He could be charged as an adult.
5 people were injured in an Indigo bus crash, and IMPD is looking into it. Here's Sasha Nixon.
Officers say the bus and a car crashed near North Capitol Avenue and West Walnut Street. 5 people were apparently taken to the hospital as a result of the incident, but at this time it is not clear what led to the crash or what the conditions are of those who were hurt. Sasha Nixon, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A fire forced 2 people from their home on Indy's east side this morning. Firefighters got to the home along South LaSalle Street shortly before 4. The family's dog died. A pet ferret was rescued. IFD trying to figure out what caused it.
It's cheaper to buy in Indianapolis than it is to rent, says a new study. Joel Clausen, an Indy real estate agent, tells Wish TV just 5 years ago you could rent a 2-bedroom house for about $700 a month.
And now some of those same places I'm looking at every day when I'm looking for investors and such, those rents are now around $1,200, $1,300. That's just within 5 years. It's almost doubled.
And he says you could get a mortgage for cheaper than that. Most homes are about $263,000 in the Indy metro area.
The latest college football coaches poll has been released. Georgia and Ohio State remain atop the rankings. Texas, Alabama, and Ole Miss have each climbed one spot to round out the top 5. Oregon, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, and Missouri complete the top 10. Players on the Indianapolis Colts will have plenty of chances to make big plays, and one of them is wide receiver Alec Pierce, who offensive coordinator Jim Bob Cooter says has made a lot of progress.
It's a fun time of year to think about what's to come over the next 4 or 5 months. You know, Alec's done a really nice job of getting himself in a really good place to set himself up to have a nice year.
The Colts open the regular season against the Houston Texans at home on Sunday.
I'm Ryan Hedrick.
And I'm John Herrick. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Live from the heartland and the crossroads of America, it's Tony Katz Today.
Hola, it is Tony Katz Today, but it's not Tony Katz today anyway. It'll be Tony Katz again soon. Fear not. I am Derek Hunter. I will be playing the role of Tony Katz today, at least until, well, for the next 3 hours, depending on what time zone you're in. I don't want to make that call. Anyway, I am a columnist for Town Hall. That's not a beer. Swear. Columnist for The Hill, podcaster, and author, all sorts of stuff. Handle some crisis management consulting as well, so it's fun. We got an action-packed program for you today. I'm looking at the thing here. God, I don't know if Matt Drudge sold the website since I talked about it yesterday, or if he just got caught with what all the rumors have been for years, and so he has no choice, or he just never had any core beliefs. But I just love going there because it is bizarro world. Republicans secretly want Trump to lose. Better off with Kamala. Goldman Sachs, economy stronger with her. Why, who doesn't trust Goldman Sachs, right? Am I right? The best investment bank our tax money can buy. Right there, Goldman Sachs. Follow all of their thing. They're following. The priorities of media are really hilarious. The big story that they're following financially is that Donald Trump's media shares are down 70% from their March peak. And so what? Most stocks are not doing all that well. They're not doing horribly, but they're not doing all that well. It was an IPO not that long ago. IPOs always shoot up. It offered, I think, for the first time in January. So it's not as though the stock has a long track record there. It's still higher than it was when it was introduced and what it went public for. That being said, you certainly wish you would have dumped any stock at its peak rather than not. I would point out that it went down to about $22 a share back in April, late April, early May. And then it went back up to 54. So, you know, it's a wild ride, but it's a wild ride for everything. But the left is trying to make it out of something or into something. They revel in the fact that Donald Trump has any problems whatsoever. Seriously. You wouldn't know it, but it was, 7 weeks ago, 6-7 weeks ago, that somebody shot Donald Trump in the head. And it doesn't exist anymore. They don't talk about it. In anything that they do, they just lament, man, if only it missed it. They whine about how he missed. It truly is bizarre. It's screwed up. It's evil. These people are wildly corrupt. It's who they are. It's what they do. And so as you watch all of this crap unfold, keep that in mind because these are evil people. Speaking of, I don't know if he's evil. See, I don't know what the thing is. Tim Walz doesn't get along with his brother. That's weird. I guess maybe, I don't know, I get along with my brother just fine, but he hasn't talked to his brother in 8 years. His older brother. His older brother does not like his younger brother, doesn't like his politics, which is fine. You don't have to. But the fact that the older brother then took to social media to criticize the younger brother's political beliefs is newsworthy, or it should be. It's not really with the left. They're not interested in what Tim Walz's brother, Jeff, has to say. Now, it's weird because these people tracked down when J.D. Vance was named as Donald Trump's running mate. They tracked down a trans man, I think that's right, a woman who used to be a man who went to law school in the same class as J.D. Vance. They say, oh, they went to law school together. There's probably 200 people in the class taking different classes and not all taking the same classes at the same time. They're taking the same classes at different times so they can break up the large class into smaller classrooms. So there's an entire possibility that you knew of somebody, you recognized them by sight, but you weren't friends with them, you didn't know. And this person who has transitioned from a woman to a man in their head, Politico went and found and got them to say on record, boy, that J.D. Vance sure has changed since law school. And like, I'm pretty sure you've changed more. I'm pretty sure I don't know, I can't vouch for it, but I would guess that you've changed more. And so they ran that, and they're like, oh, look at the people don't really like that J.D. Vance. Meanwhile, you've got a brother, somebody's real brother, grew up together, hasn't spoken in 8 years. We don't know. I didn't even know Tim Walz had siblings, because if he doesn't get along with them, why do it? And the media sure as hell isn't going to go and look it up. So, like I say, Tim Walz's brother, Jeff, posted on social media because somebody pointed out that his brother's kind of crazy. And Jeff Walz responded on Facebook, quote, I haven't spoken to him in 8 years. I'm 100% opposed to all his ideology. My family wasn't given any notice that he was selected and denied security in the days after. He's probably a little worried about some rabid leftist coming after him because he's a conservative. Then somebody named Liz writes, help MAGA get on stage with President Trump and endorse him. Help save the country. And Jeff Walz, brother of Tim Walz, responds, I've thought hard about doing something like that. I'm torn between that and just keeping my family out of it. The stories I could tell, not the type of character you want making decisions about your future. Now, how bad do you have to be for your sibling to say that your character is something to behold? How bad does it have to be? Probably pretty bad. Probably pretty disgusting. But we don't know what it is. And nobody's beaten a path to his door to find out. Because that could not be good for Democrats. It might not be good for Democrats. You got to worry about such things. So it was largely ignored. It was written up by the New York Post, but that's it. New York Post, of course, covered the Hunter Biden laptop, broke the story even though everybody else had it. It's weird. They didn't have any proof with the laptop, couldn't possibly report that. The Steele dossier, they had proof. People had told them that it was not verifiable, it was garbage, and they ran with it anyway. But they ran with it with the caveat of, hey, we don't know if this is true or not. May or may not be. Have a look-see and see what you think. But when it comes to anything else, anything Democrat-related, it's thou shalt not only not report it, it is make no effort to report on it, make no effort to confirm it or deny it. I promise you, if the Steele dossier could have produced anything, if somebody could have said, well, here's proof about the Steele dossier, they would have reported that. They looked for it. But they couldn't find proof, and so they just put it out there anyway. If they found proof that it didn't happen, they wouldn't have reported it. If they found proof that it did happen, they probably would have done the same thing as they did without being able to prove that it happened. But Jeff Walz is a living human being. He wrote these things. There's proof. It's right there. They've ignored it. One outlet has gotten to talk to Jeff Walz. That's News Nation. They got one 15-minute phone call with him. That's it. That's all he says he's going to do. Do you imagine the entire weight of the left-wing industrial complex coming down on you and your family and the threats that you would get? How would you respond to? You probably wouldn't like that very much. So let us revel in the report that was filed, and apparently is going to be the only report that is filed by